over here. It's more of the mental side.
It's Mariano Rivera, the relief pitcher with the Hagerstown Suns, and we welcome you now to our TV version of our broadcast tonight, and pleased to have My Kentucky TV with us for the South Atlantic League All-Star Game at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, the Northern Division against the Southern Division. And it's turned into a beautiful evening here at the ballpark tonight as we get ready for baseball, the 57th annual South Atlantic League All-Star Game. And in our radio pregame show, we just heard from Mariano Rivera, the son of the great Yankees relief pitcher. Mariano Rivera the younger is a relief pitcher with the Hagerstown Suns, and he is faced with carrying the famous name around and has seemed to have handled it very well. Jeff Parrott, former Major League pitcher, is with me. We'll be going to Kennedy Hardman here in just a few minutes to get her reports on tonight's ball game as well. But Jeff, I don't know if you got to hear Mariano's comments, but he does seem to be handling all of that very well and seems to be his own man, which is very important.
Absolutely. Got right to the point and said, I'm not him.
Right.
So good for him. That's a a really good deal. There's some genetics in there. He's even got a little bit of Mariano's makeup or his body shape. We'll see if he throws 95 with a cutter or if he brings something else.
We'll see. As he says, I'm not him. So that's a good declaration to make, because that's something you need to establish right away. You got to be your own man, your own person, and he has done that, and here he is in an all-star game himself. Again, we welcome you to our broadcast tonight as the Legends host the all-star game for the first time since 2003. It'll be played here in Lexington tonight at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, and we look forward to it very much. There is one Lexington legend who will see action, we think, in this game, and that is left-handed relief pitcher Emilio Ocando, and we'll look for Emilio. Chase Follow is out due to an injury. We'll get a further update on that in just a few minutes. Right now, let's take a break, and we'll come right back with more on our pregame show in just a moment on the Legends Radio and Television Network.
Okay, lucky shirt, lucky socks, lucky seat, all set.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah.
Play the Doc Watson on this return?
No, we don't need to yet. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about halfway to hazard? Once again, folks, we do want to welcome you to Whitaker Bank Ballpark, home of the Lexington Legends Southern Division team. It is our pleasure to welcome you to the 2016 South Atlantic League All-Star Game right here in Lexington, Kentucky. For those of you joining on TV in My Kentucky, we want to welcome you to Whitaker Bank Ballpark. We hope you enjoy this evening's game live on TV at 37.2 with our friends at WTBQ. Festivities are getting underway, folks. Last night, it was the Monday Night Live free concert with Thompson Square downtown. We want to thank our good friends at the Alltech Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company, along with 98.1, for bringing us Monday Night Live and that free Thompson Square concert. Coming up, folks, we will have that first pitch. The Diamond Landscape Grounds crew are putting those final touches to the field here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. Diamond Landscapes is your solution for all seasons. Can we get a big round of applause for the head groundskeeper of your Lexington Legends, Mr. Danny Bradley? A stash-tastic job Danny and his crew have done the past 4 months and more, actually about a year and a half planning into this event tonight. It is the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. Folks, we do want to give you this very important safety message. The Lexington Legends would like to remind all fans of the dangers of thrown or batted balls, baseball bats, even broken bats entering the spectator areas. They may be kept as souvenirs. However, in accordance with minor league baseball and South Atlantic League rules, no one is allowed beyond any fenced-off area of the playing field. Anyone entering the field of play will be escorted from Whitaker Bank Ballpark. Whitaker Bank Ballpark is a family-friendly environment. We ask you please strike out all foul language and inappropriate behavior. Parents, we ask that you pay particular attention to your small children. Running in the stands or concourse area is strictly prohibited. Fans, we want you to have a fun, stash-tastic time. We also want you to be safe. So please be alert while the action on the field is going on. Here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, in Section 201, the Legends have permanently reserved one seat at Whitaker Bank Ballpark in honor of military prisoners of war and those missing in action. The seat, which is located on the top row of Section 201, is no longer sold or occupied for events here at the ballpark. Distinguished by its color and a memorial plaque, the seat was unveiled during a Veterans Day ceremony at the ballpark during the 2013 season. At this time, the Lexington Legends and the South Atlantic League would like to welcome and thank our men and women serving our country, retired and current. We thank you for your service and allowing us to play America's favorite pastime, and right here for the South Atlantic League All-Star. Thank you, men and women of our military, for your service. Once again, folks, you can follow tonight's game live on your mobile device with the Minor League Baseball First Pitch app. It's available on your iPhone and iPad, and users can download it right now from the App Store and watch on the go with MILB.TV. Visit MILB.TV or the App Store for more details. And once again, we do want to thank all of our fans joining us right here in the Bluegrass on My Kentucky 37.2 with our friends at WTVQ. The All Sports All-Stars will be rolling around the Seeding Bowl, folks, selling those 50-50 raffles. Tickets will be sold throughout Whitaker Bank Ballpark until the end of the 7th inning of tonight's game. Be sure to grab one of those 50-50 tickets from our All Sports All-Stars. 50 will go to you, and the other half, not 50, we're going to go a little bit more than 50. Half of it will go to you, and the other half will go to the second place Lexington Legends Legendary Derby winner.
Legendary Derby, the skills competition, home run hitting contest, and the fans have showed up early. It is a special occasion, and they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it really is. You know, most of the time the guys will show up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but they're going over game preparations, and these guys, a lot of it's introductions and hanging out. Since batting practice was canceled on the field, they had more time to spend together in the dugout. And look, we're having an amazing thing on the field. All that rain that we had, big giant drops, and they're adding water on the field.
How about that? Yeah, that's, things have recovered quickly because it didn't look so good a while ago, although the forecast was always that the rain would move on through, and now it has. And so now we've got bright sunshine and a mostly blue sky up above us with a few clouds around, but certainly a great night for baseball now with the temperature in the low 80s as we get set to get this thing started. It did not look quite that good a little while ago, 2 or 3 hours ago, as the rain was coming down, and at times very hard. But they moved the autograph session under a tent, and they moved the batting practice indoors, and by the time it was time to start the home run derby contest, the legendary derby, why they were able to get that in on time, and we are pretty much on schedule tonight. The game going to start somewhere around 7:30 tonight, so we will ask you to stay with us and be patient. We got a lot of pregame activities coming up, and right now President Eric Krupa of the South Atlantic League is about to induct former Legends CEO Brad Redmond into the South Atlantic League Hall of Fame, and those two are flanked by Gary Durbin, Legends Vice President on the left, and on the right, as our TV audience looks at it, is Andy Shea, Legends President and CEO. And Brad, part of the initial movement, along with Alan Stein and others who brought the Legends here. And for a long time, it looked like it wasn't going to happen, Jeff, in minor league baseball in Lexington.
That's exactly right. Brad and I have quite a history through baseball and through our life. We've been friends for a long time. He was an outstanding local baseball player, from Little League all the way up through high school. He pitched at Morehead State. Just a really competitive, outstanding fella, and has made a great life and career for himself, and we're all thankful for him to get this stadium built.
And now he's being congratulated as the induction is official, and he receives the plaque signifying his membership in the South Atlantic League Hall of Fame. So a good occasion tonight to get that done, because the Legends hosting the game for the first time since 2003, and now one of their own being honored with induction into the South Atlantic League Hall of Fame. The whole league has quite a history, Jeff, going back a long, long way. Now this is the 57th annual All-Star Game, and covering that amount of ground means that some great names have come through here, and certainly we've seen a number of great stars come through the South Atlantic League, like Willie Stargell and Nolan Ryan and Derek Jeter and many, many others, and now today's stars, Bryce Harper and, of course, Jose Altuve and J.D. Martinez here.
That's right. There have been just so many outstanding players. They're getting a chance to play. You know, one of the things I've noticed about this game tonight, Keith, is that it's not necessarily just first and second round guys that are playing. There's a lot of middle and late round selections that have made this team. As I talked to Omar, the manager of the Legends, who's coaching here at the All-Star Game tonight, he said that it used to be a prospect game, but now it's voted on by the coaches. It's earned on merit. It's earned on what you've done with your numbers throughout the year. So congratulations to these young men.
Absolutely. You see a lot of guys who have been college players and maybe weren't real high draft choices, not immediate major league prospects, but they're doing very well at this level. This is a chance for them to be recognized. We'll take a break here and come right back with more in just a moment on the Legends Network.
All right, fans, make sure to take a look down that third base line. It's now time to welcome our mascots to the South Atlantic League All-Star Game from your Lexington Legends, riding in those beautiful Paul Miller Ford vehicles. The presenting sponsor of the South Atlantic League All-Star Game, it is Big L and Pee Wee. They are making their way down the warning track along with our Paul Miller Field of Dreams team, and will be running out with the Southern Division All-Star starting lineups in a few short minutes. Folks, that is a 2016 Ford Explorer leading the way, and following with Big L and Pee Wee in tow, it is the brand new 2016 Ford F-150. Once again, folks, we want to thank our good friends at Paul Miller Ford for sponsoring the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. All right, Big L and Pee Wee, it's your night. Big L took about 4 days, folks, making sure that mustache looked good for each and every one of you. Be sure to get a picture of Big L and Pee Wee at the game tonight before you head out of town. Once again, Big L and Pee Wee, the Legends mascots. Well, once again, folks, you will see some of our Paul Miller Field of Dreams teams making their way around the warning track.
This ball game,
That is
and we're going to bring in Kennedy Hartman right now. Who's going to be using for us throughout the ball game.
The chance to run out from the starting lineup of the Lexington.
Thanks so much, Keith. Yeah, that's right. The Legends have 2 players who are featured here today in this All-Star game. Unfortunately, one will not be able to participate. Chase Velo, he was injured when he was batting. He was hit with a pitch to his face. Not a pretty video, I have to say. It was against the West Virginia Power on June 14th. So now a week later, today actually, he went and had a root canal on 3 of his front teeth. But this guy, he's a trooper. He showed up about an hour and a half after that root canal. His mom brought him here to the ballpark. He said she's been in tears all week long. It's been really tough on her, but for him, says, you know what, I'm just taking it all in strides. I'm hoping this doesn't give me a step back, and he's just excited to be here. He says, you know what, I'm hopeful that I will have more All-Star games, but I wouldn't miss this one for the world.
All right, thanks very much, Kennedy. Chase Velo is a tough guy, and certainly is going to bounce back from this, but it was a very scary situation when that happened, Jeff, when he was hit in the face by the pitch and, of course, left the ball game. That was on June the 14th, and he has since now had the oral surgery and is recovering. And, of course, catchers have it tough back there behind the plate, and in this case, Chase took one in the face when he was at the plate. So we hope that he'll be recovering quickly.
That's right, Keith. That was a very scary situation where he looked like he didn't even react to the ball very much. And sometimes when it squares you up like that, you don't get the chance. I happened to do that to a guy in Atlanta one night, Jose Batista. It was traumatic for me, but not nearly as much as it was for him. But, you know, it was a situation where I came inside, he kind of dove into it, didn't react correctly, and I mean, you know, I just had to live with it and go on. And fortunately, he resumed his career and was fine after that. And you just hope that a guy has the nerve to keep his head in there for a while. Sometimes you have to relearn a little bit of your swing because there might be a flinch. But since he is a catcher and he sees the ball coming so much, I believe his recovery time hopefully will be shorter than some.
Yeah, he seems to be, as Kennedy said, in a very good frame of mind about things, and that's at least a good start there. A lot of work still to be done, of course, but you got to bounce back mentally first. That's part of it as players recover from a situation like that, especially being hit by a pitch. So that's certainly a part of it. And as you mentioned, the reaction. If you make the wrong reaction first, you don't get a chance to get a second reaction there. It all happens so quickly that if your first move isn't instinctively the right move, you're probably going to get hit. That's
exactly right. And the ball just trailed right at him. I mean, a lot of people got to see that video on television. And, you know, he toughened it up, made it through there, and he's back here today. He's a high prospect in the Royals organization, and so this has no effect on how that will, you know, the organization will view him moving forward. They'll give him all the time that he needs, and he's a terrific player, and I know the Legends need him too.
The Legends certainly do need him. The Legends finishing up the first half of the season on the bottom in the Southern Division, so they're hopeful of bouncing back in the second half. One of the great things about minor league baseball is you do get every chance to do that because everybody's going to have a 0-0 record when we start again on Thursday night. The champions for the first half, by the way, were Charleston and Hagerstown, and they're both well represented here in the All-Star game tonight. They are assured of postseason play and will go on to be in the postseason regardless of what their team makeup is, and they'll be in the postseason, and now everybody else has a chance to make it in the second half of the season. Jeff, our TV audience is watching Keith Madison throw a first pitch tonight, and he's pretty well known to you.
Man, I'll tell you what, Keith, he must have loaded up with the Bengay and the Advil because I've not seen his shoulder look that good for a long time. That was a strike. We used to watch Keith throw batting practice. He didn't throw that many strikes in batting practice back in the day. But he was a youngster. You know, he was 27 years old when he became head coach at the University of Kentucky.
He was indeed, and of course had some arm trouble that ended his professional career. He was a pitcher and was pitching in the minor leagues, and I remember asking him about that one time. It's a great thing as far as your coaching career is concerned to get a great start that young, but at the same time you have to adjust to being a coach, because I'm sure when he was 20 years old, the last thing he thought he would be doing at 24 or 25 would be to be an assistant coach and then a head coach at 27. So you have to get into the mindset that the playing career is over, and I think it probably took him a little bit of time to adjust to that, but certainly that was a great start to his coaching career.
Right, yeah. Keith was known as a fireballer back in the day. He also had a knee injury that he picked up playing basketball in the off season, where he wouldn't let us do that when I went to University of Kentucky. He said that was enough of that business. We're not taking those risks. But it's great to see him out there today, and man, he looks good as always.
He does, and of course you still hear Keith Madison on the air talking about baseball now and then, and he was in here to do part of the high school tournament that recently took place here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, so I'm glad he's still active in the game. Another thing that he does is to, as we see Brad Redmond make the first pitch try there, and he had something on that left-handed delivery, but maybe a little off the mark there.
Oh, he tried to. That brought back some memories. I used to love to hit off Red. But he was a left-handed guy. He could throw 90 back in the day, and he's not a real overpowering, big sort of guy. I mean, he's overpowering because he's thick and strong, but he could really bring it and had a good breaking ball. And like I say, probably the most competitive person you may ever meet.
And among the others throwing first pitches tonight is Jason Dunn, former NFL star from Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and from Eastern Kentucky University, and he took part in our legendary derby as we had teams of celebrities paired with South Atlantic League All-Stars. I did want to mention the work that Keith Madison is doing in the Dominican Republic. He's made several trips down there, and occasionally has had some big-name big league baseball stars go with him and work with the kids down there. It's a missionary sort of effort as well, but also certainly a lot of baseball instruction, and they play the game with a lot of enthusiasm and intensity in the Dominican Republic, starting very young. So they have very willing and eager young participants, but it's also a great opportunity for them, and Keith has done a lot of great work down there.
That's right. You know, Keith's one of those guys you can't hardly say no to, and so he gets the opportunity to take equipment to those young men and young ladies down in the Dominican Republic. A couple of years ago, we had the privilege of joining some people. Bob Sylvanik, there was a big crew that Keith had a warehouse in Shelbyville, Kentucky, where he stored that until he could send it. There must have been an entire shipping container worth of just shoes, gloves, uniforms, bats, balls, just things that had been donated to Keith to give to those kids. So that's just huge. You know, when I was playing in the Dominican Republic, I played winter ball down there one year. They're playing on dirt fields with stones everywhere, and a lot of them were using milk cartons for gloves. Wow. You know, they would take that wax milk carton and fold it in half. And so you figure a guy that could learn to catch the ball routinely with a milk carton on his glove on a rocky field, you bring him out here and put him on a place like Whitaker Bank Ballpark with a full glove and a smooth ground, he's going to do pretty good.
He'll enjoy playing, won't he?
Oh, yeah.
He'll certainly enjoy getting out here. You know, we have, of course, the Latin American players are very well represented and high percentage part of Major League Baseball now, and of course, obviously down through the minor leagues as well. But every time I see the guys, we might have 3 or 4 players from the Dominican at one time on a roster, sometimes even more. But those guys to get here have had to beat out so many good players down there, and it's very, very competitive. And just to get a chance to sign on with a U.S. team, you have really, really got to show yourself and separate yourself from a lot of people down there who would really like to do that.
Right. Yeah, they have the Dominican Summer League where these guys are professional players actually playing, and just to get moved up to the Gulf Coast League is a big deal for them. They have schooling for English lessons and various things like that, prepare them for their chance to get here. And, you know, growing up in an environment like that, there's a lot of really big, strong kids down there for one, but I'm sure they have the hunger to improve. And whatever effort it takes, if you could make it to the big leagues, that's life-changing for your entire family generally, you know. And so I'm proud of them, and I believe that Major League Baseball has found a really great talent pool in the Latin communities, and it is evidenced by 40% or so of the players in the major leagues now are represented that way.
And it is a very high percentage now, and certainly they have made great contributions to the game of baseball, and certainly that will continue. As you mentioned, playing winter ball in the Dominican, and every club now is represented down there, whether it's an academy or some sort of facility, and they have participation in the Dominican Summer Leagues, and a lot of the major league players or guys who are close to the big leagues will play in the Dominican Winter League. So it offers opportunities in that regard too, and the major leagues certainly have capitalized and know that is going to be a continuing source of talent for them.
Yeah, no doubt. I believe it's the hunger, the desperation, and those things add to their toughness when they get here. So, I'm proud of a lot of those young men, and just anybody that has the talent. It takes a work ethic, it takes some luck, it takes some good breaks, it takes all those different things to make it to the big league level. And it's not always the best player or even the nicest guy. A lot of times it's just a guy in the right spot at the right time.
That's important in baseball, and a lot of guys talk about how important it is to make yourself available to be the right spot in the right spot at the right time, because that involves working hard every day and doing what you're supposed to do. And somehow, if the lucky break's going to come, it seems to come to the guys who get that done.
That's exactly right. You know, we always were warned, if there's a 50-50 situation between you and another player and they're making a decision who to keep, who to go, you might want to be the guy that works harder and is nicer to his teammates.
Right.
And, you know, all those things that does make a difference.
We see on our TV picture now, before we took a look here at the Eastern Kentucky University Colonel, who is here tonight behind the dugout. The umpire crew coming onto the field and being introduced to the crowd right now, and it is a 4-man umpiring crew tonight, and that is a little different. In fact, it's a lot different if you're an umpire, because normally they go with a 2-man crew in the South Atlantic League. They get a lot of experience working behind the plate, a lot of experience making all kinds of calls with the 2-man crew, but I'll bet they welcome those extra 2 teammates tonight.
Oh, absolutely. They don't have to run all over the field, and, you know, we got TV going, so hopefully there won't be a reason for them to have to confer with everyone. But, you know, Keith, I wanted to mention, with our outstanding camera crew that we have working with us with TVQ, maybe tonight we'll get a play that'll make the top 10 list on national broadcast.
Well, it very well could happen. The Legends have done that before, and we've had a couple of plays from our ballpark with our crew here on the controls and on the cameras. And so if we see a highlight play in the All-Star game tonight, it just might make a Sports Center top 10. And we have a little bit of history there, but hope to have some more of that as the 2 managers. Patrick Anderson of the Hagerstown Suns, Luis Durante of the Charleston River Dogs are out at home plate and meeting with Jose Navas, the plate umpire tonight. It'll be David Martinez at third base, Mike Carroll at second base, and Justin Anderson at first base. And you can tell by the conversation down there, these guys are already pretty well acquainted. They've seen each other during the first half of the season, and smiles all around tonight, because this game is for fun, Jeff.
There you go. I'm curious if these guys are all-stars or if they were assigned to this game. A lot of times an all-star game is like a 2-day break for a lot of guys to be able to get home, maybe see some family. You know, these umpires, they travel and do all the things that a baseball team does, and sometimes it's not even as nice a facility. But they're trying to make their way up, paying their dues in A-ball, and here they are tonight.
And occasionally a player can make a big jump in the minor leagues, and you did that. And but the umpires, most of the time, that's a year in each classification. And if you are moving along at the right pace, you'll get promoted after a year. So we'd see these guys for the entire South Atlantic League season. And the next year they might be in advanced day in the California League or the Florida State League. So you got to pay your dues all the way up. And they travel by car and with their crewmates. And so it's a pretty tough lifestyle, but they have made up their minds and take some real dedication and effort to do it. And then, of course, you have to perform on the field, too.
Right. They, you know, they're graded and rated and cross-checked and, you know, schooled all throughout the season. And certainly, you know, they move up the same way that baseball players do. The better ones get a chance to go farther. And that's a lot of dedication and commitment to be an umpire. And that's a close-knit crew. Don't ever say something bad about another umpire to any umpire, because they will defend him, even if they know he's not a good umpire. Oh, wait, they would never admit that. But they will take up for each other.
Yeah, they take up for him anyway. That's right. They are definitely teammates, and that works that way for. We still call them the men in blue, and they do have that in common. And with all the travel and all the time together during the baseball season, they certainly have a chance to get to know each other very well. And as they continue to go over the ground rules here tonight at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, we are awaiting the start of the South Atlantic League All-Star game.
We're talking about those umpires. I always had an appreciation for what they do out there. If a guy's in the right position, gives you the proper effort, there's not a whole lot really you can say to him. Sometimes if you go out and question them just to back up your team, they want to make it personal and that sort of stuff, and, you know, say something like that. But you're not allowed to make it personal. Anytime you do that, you're ejected from the game, so you kind of have to be careful with it. I always like the great way of arguing to go out and ask him how his family's been and tell him I'm bobbing my head up and down because I'm excited to be here. And thought you're making the right call, but my team didn't. You know, it'd be nice.
There's more than just a little bit of theater that does go on out there.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes, you know, you act mad. Some guys really get upset. We've had some pretty good meltdowns here at Whitaker Bank Park over the year for some managers also.
Certainly have. Yeah, Joe Mikulik of Asheville, the most legendary, if I can use that term tonight, back in 2006. And solo performance out there for some 6 or 7 minutes before making the long, long walk that the managers have to make out to the clubhouse behind the right field wall. The meeting continues at home plate. They seem to be having a good time down there as we await the start of the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. Of course, we'll get the introductions of the players here coming up momentarily. Let's take a break here. We'll come back with more on our pregame show in just a moment on the Legends Network.
Hello, fans. This is Minor League Baseball President Pat O'Connor. I want to invite you to visit the official website of Minor League Baseball at MILB.com. Be sure to download the First Pitch app.
Listening to a phone message and speaking to an actual nurse. The difference between being lost in the system or steering through it with a steady friend. Heart is at the core of a health plan that's focused on...
And now, fans, it's time to meet the South Atlantic League All-Stars. First, for the Northern Division, reserves. Pitchers, from the Delmarva Shorebirds, number 35, Garrett Cleffinger. From the Lakewood Blue Claws, number 26, Luke Leftwich. From the Delmarva Shorebirds, number 30, Ryan Messinger. The Hickory Crawdads, number 40, Pedro Payano. From the Hagerstown Suns, number 17, pitcher, Mariano Rivera. From the Greensboro Grasshoppers, pitcher, number 26, C.J. Robinson. From the Hagerstown Suns, pitcher number 26, Jeffrey Rodriguez. From the Hickory Crawdads, pitcher number 19, Jeffrey Springs. Also from the Hickory Crawdads, pitcher number 37, Eric Swanson. And from the Kannapolis Intimidators, rounding out the pitching staff, number 32, Zach Thompson. The Northern Division reserves, catchers. From the Hickory Crawdads, number 9, Tyler Sanchez. And from the Kannapolis Intimidators, number 21, catcher, Sebi Savala. Infielders for the Northern Division, reserves from the Kannapolis Intimidators, number 1, Danny Mendick. And from the Lakewood Blue Claws, number 5, Josh Tobias. The reserves from the Northern Division, outfielders from the Kannapolis Intimidators, number 22, Landon Lassiter. And from the Greensboro Grasshoppers, number 15, ECL Soto. The manager of the Northern Division All-Stars from the Hagerstown Suns, Patrick Anderson. Coach from the Hagerstown Suns, Amari Garcia. And coach from the Hagerstown Suns, Sam Narin. The athletic trainer for the Northern Division All-Stars from the West Virginia Power, Dom Camposo. And now the Northern Division starting lineup. The center fielder, number 16, from the Hagerstown Suns, Victor Robles. From the Hagerstown Suns, batting second, their second baseman, number 2, Max Schrock. From the West Virginia Power, batting third, their left fielder, number 18, Tito Polo. From the Delmarva Shorebirds, in the cleanup spot, their catcher, number 17, Hermine Mercedes. From the Lakewood Blue Claws, their right fielder, number 23, batting in the fifth slot, Jose Pujols. Batting the sixth in the third baseman, hot corner from the West Virginia Power, number 22, Ke'Bryan Hayes. Batting seventh, the designated hitter for their Northern Division starters, Delmarva Shorebirds, number 32, Alex Murphy. Batting eighth, the shortstop for the Northern Division All-Stars, number 2, Jason Irizarry from the Hickory Crawdads. And batting ninth, the first baseman for the Northern Division All-Stars, starting lineup number 23, From the West Virginia Power, Daniel Arribas. In the bullpen, warming up. Also, from the West Virginia Power, their right-hander, number 19, Mitch Keller. And now, fans, it's time to meet the reserves for the Southern Division All-Stars. Pitchers from the Charleston, South Carolina River Dogs. It is the right-hander, number 37, Cody Carroll. From the Greenville Drive, pitcher number 33, Jake Cozart. Also from the Greenville Drive, right-hander number 36, Aniello Leclerc. From the River Dogs, right-hander number 13, Christian Morris. From the Lexington Legends, the left-hander number 21, Emilio Ogando. From the Columbia Fireflies, right-hander number 15, Alex Palsha. Right-hander from the Charleston River Dogs, number 21, Andrew Schwab. The left-hander from the Augusta Green Jackets, number 33, Caleb Smith. From the Rome Braves, number 54, right-hander, Mike Soroka. Right-hander, also from the Rome Braves, number 34, Patrick Weigel. The reserves for the Southern Division, catchers, from the Augusta Green Jackets, number 16, Matt Wynn. Catcher, for the Greenville Drive, number 13, Austin Rye. The reserves, from the Greenville Drive, infielders, number 5, Luis Alejandro Basabi. From the Rome Braves, number 4, Luke Dykstra. The outfielders, from the Augusta Green Jackets, number 11, Dylan Davis. And from the Greenville Drive, reserve outfielder number 16, Tate Matheny. The Southern Division All-Stars are managed by Luis Durante from the Charleston River Dogs. Also from the Charleston River Dogs, Coach Justin Pope. The Lexington Legends manager, Omar Ramirez. And the Southern Division All-Stars athletic trainer, also from the Lexington Legends, Mark Kaiser. And now, fans, it's time to meet the Southern Division starting lineup, and they will be accompanied by our Paul Miller Field of Dreams teams. The starting center fielder for the Southern Division, number 11, from the Rome Braves, Ray Patrick Ditter. He is accompanied by the Northern Caribbean 8 and under Blue All-Stars. The second baseman from the Columbia Fireflies, number 9, Vinny Sienna. Accompanied by the Danville Phillies 14 and under fast pitch. The Southern Division first baseman, number 15, from the Asheville Tourists, Ryan Mundell. Accompanied by the Moorhead T-Ball Indians. The designated hitter for the Southern Division, number 18 from the Greenville Drive, Josh Akabe. The shortstop for the Southern Division All-Stars, from the Asheville Tourists, number 1, Brendan Rogers. Accompanied by the Richmond Little League Minor Pirates. The left fielder for the Southern Division All-Stars, number 25 from the Asheville Tourists, Sam Hilliard, accompanied by the Olive Hill Mudcats. The right fielder for the Southern Division All-Stars, number 2, from the Asheville Tourists, Jonathan Daza, accompanied by the Jessamine County Youth Baseball 9 and under All-Stars. the third baseman for the Southern Division All-Stars. The winner of the legendary Derby, number 22 from the Greenville Drive, Mitchell Gonzalez, accompanied by the Richmond Revolution. And the catcher for the Southern Division All-Stars from the Rome Braves, number 8, Jonathan Morales, accompanied by the Eastern Little League Rockhounds. And in the bullpen, the starting pitcher for the Southern Division All-Stars from the Columbia Fireflies, the left-hander number 33, P.J. Collin, accompanied by the Shocks baseball team. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please stay.
We're going to take a break here, be right back, and be back for the start of the game.
Of our colors. Please welcome the Nicholasville Police Department. Folks, we ask that you please remain standing until the honor guard has retired the colors from the field. Interpreting tonight's national anthem, please welcome Catherine Laswell. And here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Halfway to Hazard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Once again, folks, we ask you please remain standing until the honor guard has retired the colors.
Performance of the national anthem by Halfway to Hazard, which delivered a great show out on the Legends Loft out the right field area near the Pepsi Party Deck, and that was between about 6 to 7, and they put on a great show, and the fans moved out that way and enjoyed watching and listening to the show by Halfway to Hazard, part of the All-Star Game festivities there at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. And now we are just about set for baseball as the youngsters will leave the field. And we've had the national anthem, and so we are getting set to play baseball, and we've mentioned the starting pitchers to you, and P.J. Conlon gets the nod for the Southern Division, and Kennedy Hartman has more about P.J. Kennedy?
Thanks, Keith. You know what they say about minor league baseball is it's definitely a very humbling experience. Let me tell you a funny story. So P.J. Conlon, I was told that he was going to be the starting pitcher. Well, I go up to speak to him yesterday at the Thompson Square concert and say, hey, by the way, you're starting tomorrow. He goes, no, I'm not. I mean, I think I am, maybe, because I've got some of the best stats in the Southern Division, but I have no idea. So then I see Justin Pope. Right? In the South Atlantic League All-Star Game.
All right, thanks very much, Kennedy. And Apologize for a technical glitch, I think, in the middle of that, but P.J. Conlon, surprised by the news that he was the starter in the South Atlantic League All-Star game last night as the players attended a concert downtown. The Southern Division Stars taking the field now, but I would think quite a thrill for P.J. Conlon, and he knows he's having a pretty good year, and certainly the numbers back that up, Jeff, as former Major League pitcher Jeff Parrott joins us. Kennedy Hardman of WTVQ with us. I'm Keith Elkins, and we're glad you're with us for the South Atlantic League All-Star game, but he certainly is worthy of making the start, I would think.
Absolutely. I was looking at some of his numbers. 84 innings, only 9 earned runs on the season. That's getting her done.
It certainly is, and some of the numbers, around the South Atlantic League will jump out at you as far as strikeouts to walks ratio, because normally at this stage of a pitcher's career, command is still something they're trying to get a hold of, and a lot of them have not been able to do that on a consistent basis, and generally that's what they're here doing, but some of these guys are a little further along in that regard.
That's exactly right, and I so appreciate the scouts and the organizations trying to teach guys how to throw strikes, but I really believe that control and command is a talent, just as much as throwing the ball fast is. Some guys just have it. Other guys, like myself, you can walk 2 or 3 guys till you find somebody you get out and make it look like it was an accident.
Well, as long as you know the formula, I guess, right?
There you go. Yeah, sometimes, though, that 4th guy, after you loaded the bases, you found out he's not the one you thought you could get out, so you might have to go for the 5th guy. But
Plan B.
Yeah, one thing about it, you throw the ball across the plate, your defense is going to play better. Your defense plays better, you're going to throw the ball across the plate a little bit more.
And the number of earned runs also indicates that he's had a pretty good defense behind him this year. P.J. Conlon, native of Belfast, Northern Ireland, came to this country when he was just 3, but he has had an opportunity to visit again in Northern Ireland, and he's not a big guy at all, but he gets it done, and he gets it done left-handed, and Jeff, that'll keep your name well known through the organization as you move up.
That's exactly right. Rory McIlroy is not an overly big guy either, but hits it about 100 miles. So, this guy, he's got a nice-looking body, left-handed pitcher. He's going to have something tailing away from righties and a curveball going into him, typical left-handed stuff. So we'll see what kind of velocity he has and how these hitters react to him. In a game like this, everybody wants to show what they can do to the best of their ability. You don't want to mess that up. Your leadoff guy wants to get on and run. Your power hitter wants to hit a home run. Your pitcher wants to get the strikeouts. So that's what their goal is.
Victor Robles is in to start things off. He plays for the Hagerstown Suns. He fouled the first one away, and now he grounds one right back up the middle past Conlon and into center field for a base hit. The ball fielded by Ditter and back into the infield, and so the Northern Division is off to a good start with a base hit right back up the middle by Victor Robles. He has played 47 games, or make it 60 games for Hagerstown, and was batting .309, 5 homers and 30 runs batted in, and 18 stolen bases now, so they'll have to keep an eye on him at first base, and we'll set that Southern Division defense for you here momentarily, as there's a swing and a foul by Max Schrock, also of the Hagerstown Suns.
Looked like Conlon may have tried to use a little kick save to stop the ball going up the middle, but when his toes got close to it, they chickened out. That ball was hit pretty hard.
He reconsidered. Sometimes you'll see some reconsidering in an all-star game. Not sure on that play, but sometimes that happens. Here's a stretch by Conlon, and the pitch, and the runner goes, and a swing and a miss, and here's the throw down to second. It's going to be too late, and Robles is in there with a stolen base. Victor Robles doing what he does for the Hagerstown Suns here for the Northern Division All-Stars. His teammate Max Schrock is at the plate, and he probably has been in that role many times through the season to be up there batting when Robles takes off, and it takes a good number 2 hitter to make a productive base stealer even better, doesn't it, Jeff?
That's right. Robles only turned 19 in May. He's a young guy, and he had an 0-1 count. It's a good time to steal because you look like you might get a breaking ball sometimes. This guy wants to pull the ball and move him over.
Schrock sends one to right field. That's going to drop in there for a hit. Goes up against the wall. Here's Robles around third, and he's going to score, and just like that, the Northern Division is in front on a double by Max Schrock. And he took that ball to right field, bounced, looked like out there on the warning track, and so 2 hits right away for the North, and they're on the board.
Didn't take long to get a run up here. That just shows what I really know, predicting a low-scoring game. Maybe that'll be the only one, but we could be 20-18 before this thing's over.
We very well could, and we'll see a lot of guys on the mound regardless of performances tonight, so we may get someone who has it especially tonight, maybe someone who doesn't, so anything can happen.
And the hitters have a chance to be a little bit more comfortable. They know we've got strike throwers out here. There's nothing personal involved. Nobody's going to try to knock you down. We just want to make some pitches and get out of the inning.
And also when you're hitting, you don't think quite so much maybe about some of the moving the runners over or getting a bunt down or something. You want to see everybody hit usually in an all-star game.
That's exactly right. You know, and Conlon's mindset could be a little bit different. You know, you're going one inning, and usually the starters, they're cruising through trying to get their feel sometimes in the first. You know, there was a pitcher, Tom Glavine, who couldn't get anybody out in the first inning and went to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But that's his only inning tonight. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Glavine really did have problems in the first inning, didn't he?
Yes,
it
he
was
did.
Strange to watch sometimes.
And it was a 3 or 4 spot. It was a crooked number, not just one.
Here's a swing and a drive into center field. Going to be caught by Ditter, and there's the first out as Polo lines out to Ditter in center field, and one down now for the Northern Division, and that'll bring in Yermin Mercedes of the Delmarva Shorebirds.
I'm sure Conlon was happy with the out, but that's another well-hit ball.
Yeah.
A line drive that didn't have a chance to get down, almost all the way to the center fielder in the air.
Mercedes, a right-handed batter. Played in 57 games for the Shorebirds. They're a farm club of the Baltimore Orioles. He's hit 8 homers, drove in 40 runs in the first half of the season. First pitch up and away for a ball.
This young man is an example of perseverance. He was released in August of 2013 from his first big league club, went to the independent leagues. Now he's starting in the All-Star game for the Baltimore A-ball team.
Here's a ground ball to first. That one's fielded by Mundell of Asheville. He steps on the bag for the out. That one's spinning as it approached Mundell. The runner Schrock is able to advance to third, so he's over there now with 2 outs, and that does take some persistence. You get into independent ball, and now you're not affiliated with anybody, but you got to go out there and work and hope that you're one of the few that get noticed and get signed, or in his case, re-signed. But a lot of guys are battling for those few spots.
He did, and you know, in catchers, that's one of the hardest positions it is to fill in a professional level. It's a tough deal to have good catchers and shortstops, you know, your prime positions. So if you can show yourself as a prospect, like this guy at the plate, he can hit it a long way.
He can hit it a long way. Jose Pujols. Here's the pitch from Conlon, and a swing and a miss. Off speed that time, and he was out in front. 0-2 to Jose Pujols.
We've got 2 down. Nice comeback for Conlon after the first 3 3 batters got on there. The first 2.
Here's the 0-2. And there is strike 3 called, and that's the end of the first inning. Pujols did not care for the call, but the inning is over. And the Northern Division gets a run at the top of the first inning on a couple of hits. And they leave one, and we'll see the Southern Division bat for the first time in just a moment. You're watching and listening to the South Atlantic League All-Star Game on the Legends Network.
It's now time to introduce you to the All Sports All-Stars and a few of our mascots joining with us today at the South Atlantic League All-Star. On the dugout tops, we have with us the All Sports All-Stars, Kirsten, Rachel, Hannah, Aaron, Nikki, Joe, Cassie, Bailey, and Kate. And our mascots on the field, Big L, Pee Wee, Rudy, the Mongo Man on the third base side, swinging over to the first base. We got the Y'all-Star from the Florence Freedom, Buckles, the Colonel from EKU, and Little Z from Zaxby's. They are the All Sports All-Stars and your mascots in attendance tonight. Your on-field MC for each and every game here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. Microphone Mike.
Oh, yeah, Ty. We're going to have this place rocking. Who wants something for free? All right. Well, don't you worry. We got 9 innings of fun coming to you. Giveaways left and right. You just keep making noise for baseball. That's right. When I say oh, you say stars. Oh! 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 Oh, yeah, Ty, they're ready to rock.
Oh, they're ready. They've been ready since about probably last night at that free Thompson Square concert. It was brought to you by our good friends at the Altex Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company. Folks, remember that Kentucky Ale Tap Room is open. It's located in the middle of the seating bowl. Go ahead and stop on in there and grab one of those delicious and refreshing Kentucky Ale family of beers. If anyone wants to bring me up one, I'll take it. No, I'm joking. We don't do that here. Just joking, folks. But you can go down there and grab a beer. They are refreshing, folks. I'm not going to lie. The Kentucky Ale Tap Room for the home team, and grab
5 walks on the season.
Some delicious food.
That is amazing, and that'll your major league pitching coaches would be pleased with that, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah,
more than pleased. They'd be excited.
And I'm sure that he's got some pretty good stuff to go along with it. 4-3 with a 189. You know, it's hard to pick up wins in this league with the pitch counts and the other things that they do to these starting pitchers. So going 5-6 innings is not always on the board for them.
Here's a strike call to Ray Patrick Ditter, representative of the Rome Braves, native of Aruba. Here's the pitch to him, and a swing and a foul. A lot of speed at the top of that lineup with Ray Patrick Ditter.
Yes, nice speed from the pitcher, too. Both those fastballs, knee high, 92 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes, the first hitter.
Next pitch, and that one's low and away.
That's a big slider. I believe that Ditter was just hoping it wasn't going to be a strike again.
Mitch Keller. Record's 5 and 4 for West Virginia, and 242. There's a swing and a miss. He takes care of Ditter in a hurry to start the bottom of the first. Now Vinny Sienna will bat from the Columbia Fireflies.
Straight old curveball. Not a chance for Ditter that time after seeing the 2 hard fastballs.
Well, here's, if you're watching us on television, you get a look at that Columbia Fireflies uniform. No mistaking it.
Looks like a fishing lure I have.
That will draw. Here's a pitch, and it is in there for a strike.
The all-important strike one. I believe that in the major leagues, first pitch strike batting average is about 147.
It does drop dramatically if a pitcher can get that strike one. And of course, pitching coaches at this level too like to keep track of those strike one percentages. As we get a foul down the right field line off the bat of Vinny Sienna. No homers, 13 runs batted in, and batting .291 on the year.
22 years old, 14th round draft choice.
Here's the pitch, a swing and a grounder to the left side, gloved at third, and the throw to first is in time. Brian Hayes to his left made the play, and that's the second out in the bottom of the first inning.
Reminds me of his dad. Played with his dad Charlie in Philadelphia and Colorado. Had great range, great hands, nice power. Nice to see a chip off the old block. Good play right there. It did bounce up nicely for him.
Did take a good hop for him, but as you mentioned, Charlie Hayes, a long-time big leaguer, played 14 years in the big leagues, and that is outstanding. These guys that are battling for those major league spots, 14 years in the big leagues, seems like a dream, but Charlie Hayes got there, and you got to work to stay there as well, and he was a good player for a good many years. Swing and a miss, or a foul off the bat of Brian Mundell.
Here's your Sally League leader in batting average. An incredible stat that he has. 58 games, has 84 hits. At the major league level, that's like 260 hits in the season.
Brian Mundell, the Asheville Tourists. Here's the pitch on the way, and a swing and a high pop foul. That's going to get out of play to the first base side. You get a look, if you're watching us on My Kentucky TV, at the crowd here tonight.
Keller got that one up to 94. Got it deep in the zone on Mundell right there. Didn't give him a chance. See what he features, 1 and 2.
And a 1-2 pitch, and there's the breaking ball, and there's strike 3, and down in order goes the Southern Division in the bottom of the first. We'll come back in just a moment with more from the All-Star Game after this on the Legends Network.
Attention fans, we do have those 50-50 raffle tickets that you can purchase. They are with our All Sports All-Stars, Rachel and Bailey. They'll be walking around selling those 50-50s. Half goes to you. The other half will go to the second place Legendary Derby winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how y'all doing? Man, I tell you, this is an awesome Tuesday night in Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you all for sharing it with us. Raise your hand if you can see the crush zone out in left center field. All right, now here's how this works. Normally during a Legends game, it's for Legends batters only, but this is an all-star game, so if any batter tonight hits a home run off the crush zone, one lucky fan in this ballpark is going to win a free night in a luxury suite from our friends at Pepsi
baby.
and Orange Crush. Yeah. And if you're from out of town, don't worry, I can make travel arrangements. We're good. But if you want to be the Crush fan of the game, on the count of 3, I need you up and making as much noise as humanly possible. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Wow. Yep, I see him. Wow.
We go to the top of the second, leading off.
Pretty going in Big Red, but you know what? It's not because of his strawberry in Lakewood, New Jersey. A wedding. So they hit up the wedding and one Heller, and as she was leaving, she goes, "Bye, Big Red." And that's how he got his nickname.
Yeah, if your teammates overhear something like that, it's going to be stuck with you. Thanks, Kennedy. Kennedy Hardman working with us tonight with reporting from around the ballpark, and the South Atlantic League All-Star game moves into the second inning now, and a new arm on the mound for the Southern Division as Patrick Weigel of the Rome Braves takes over.
Patrick Weigel, 6'6", 220-pounder from California. A lot of angle. Looks like he slings the fire out of it up there. We've seen 93, 94 out of him already.
Wind the pitch to Brian Hayes, and there's a ball outside, and count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one came in at 95.
You know, Cabrian did all the things coming up as a prospect. He was, parade All-American. He was in the Under Armour game, the All-Star games. Played on some national teams. He's been a prospect since they first found this young man.
And he continues to make progress in the Pittsburgh organization among their highly regarded prospects, and the Pirates have had a few come through that West Virginia club over the last several years.
Absolutely they have. He's rated as the 6th best prospect in the organization.
Here's strike 3 called to him as Weigel gets off to a good start.
Wasn't really expecting that. Little Rembrandt paint on the outside corner. And the umpire's not getting paid by the hour.
He's moving it along tonight. Weigel, of course, off to a good start here, but we are seeing, as we will point out throughout the broadcast, the outstanding pitchers in the South Atlantic League, and these guys are a little bit advanced right now and have shown it here in the first half of the season. They have good command, most of them, and good stuff, and they may not be long for the South Atlantic League with that in mind.
This is Alex Murphy, one of the guys that participated in the home run derby today, and he knows how to get it over the fence too.
He has some power. Alex Murphy at the plate representing the Delmarva Shorebirds.
Our old local fella, Mark Blythe, threw all that batting practice out there today.
Here's a line drive base hit to left by Murphy, so he is on. Sam Hilliard up with the ball and gets it back in.
Nice swing, nice looking hitting prospect right there. Get the DH, that's one thing you probably can do. 10 home runs on the year.
DH is voted in this game. Here's Jason Irizarry. He is from the Hickory Crawdads.
A shortstop with a reputation of having a nice glove.
He swings and sends a high fly ball deep into right center field. Over for it is Daza, and the right fielder makes the catch. And back to first is Alex Murphy, 2 down.
Not a tremendously easy catch right there, going and looking into the sun, as it likes to set over the third base side of the stadium here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. But he stuck with it, and the wind's blowing out to right a little bit again. Not quite as bad as it has been lately, but that was enough to keep the ball in the air. It's a nice catch.
Daniel Arribas is the batter from the West Virginia Power and part of the Pittsburgh organization. And Arribas, a right-handed batter, stands in against Patrick Weigel.
Another of the international free agents we have here tonight, Keith. He's from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. Baseball, of course, becoming more of a worldwide game, and we see players from different countries now entering the professional scene here in the U.S. And, of course, the Latin American players have been part of that for a long time and have gradually increased their percentage of representing their countries, Dominican, Venezuela especially, but still not many from the Netherlands at this point.
No, that's right. Major League Baseball is searching. You know, every time you get a guy that make it from a place like the Netherlands or from Ireland, you're probably going to get a whole country's worth of people signing up for MLB.com.
That's right. They'll get those subscribers and follow those players. And of course, we saw when the Japanese players or Korean players first started to come over, they had their own media contingents, it seemed, and they had a lot of fans back home following their careers. Of course, the Asian players have continued to have an influence. Here's a looping fly ball into left field, and that one's going to drop in for a hit for Arribas, and Murphy goes to second. So 2 men on and 2 men out for the Northern Division. They lead it 1-0. We're in the top of the second.
They got a curveball to Arribas. He just kind of stuck with it and got it off the end of the bat and fought it into left field and got a man into scoring position with 2 outs. Let's see what Weigel can do to get himself out of this.
Robles is the batter. He got a base hit, a stolen base, and a run scored his first time. That's kind of how he's been doing it for Hagerstown throughout the first half of the season. 60 games, 5 homers, 30 RBIs, 309 average, and stands in there batting right-handed against the right-hander, Patrick Weigel.
And Weigel's got his Rome teammate catching him back there. I wonder if that's something of an advantage.
Here's a ground ball to short, and the play is going to have to be made to first by Rogers, and he does throw him out, and that ends the inning. And we've played an inning and a half at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, and the score, the Northern Division 1, the Southern Division 0. Back with the bottom of the second in just a moment on the Legends Network.
Welcome to work out anytime, Big L.
Folks, here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, our good friends right up the road, I-75 at Georgetown at the Toyota Motor Manufacturing Plant of Kentucky, give us 2 seats, our best seats in the house. Over in the landing of 204, we have our Toyota best seats in the house. Tonight, Shane and David are enjoying the confines of those brand new 2016 Toyota Avalon leather seats. Shane and David, now they recline and they have cup holders. So enjoy it. The game tonight, the South Atlantic League All-Star Game from the Toyota best seats in the house. Your attention, fans, entering the game and pitching for the Northern Division All-Stars. From the Hickory Crawdads, the right-hander, number 40, Pedro Payano.
Representative Emilio Ogando, left-handed pitcher. Chase Vallo that was voted in as a starting catcher, but is injured and will not play tonight. New pitcher on for the Northern Division team now. Pedro Payano of the Hickory Crawdads, the right-hander, and first one low and in to Josh Akami, who is the DH for the Southern Division from the Greenville Drive.
Big left-handed hitter. Hitting in the cleanup hole as a DH. Nice place to be.
Josh Akami gets himself set at the plate. Northern Division with a run in the first, and they lead it 1-0. And Payano with the next pitch, and that one's low. 3 balls and no strikes to count to Josh Akami, trying to start things off for the Southern Division here in the bottom of the second.
Payano hasn't had the greatest command throughout the year. Does have 1 complete game with a shutout, but 22 walks in 57 innings, so you can expect to see one every other inning or so. Maybe that will be the end of it. But the leadoff walk, 74% of the time he scores.
That is a tough statistic to beat, and pitching coaches point it out all the time. And, of course, pitchers know that, but it has to be frustrating to issue that base on balls to the first guy because he so often does come around.
It is. That pretty much shows that your command's not great to start with, so that probably adds to that increase. It's not like it's an intentional walk to lead off the inning like Bryce Harper will be receiving as he goes through his career.
Bryce Harper played in the South Atlantic League All-Star game back in 2011. He was a Hagerstown son. In fact, he hit his first professional home run right here in this ballpark as a member of the Hagerstown Sons. There's a ball low and away, and now the catcher wants to talk to Pedro Payano, who just got into the ball game.
The hitter, Brendan Rogers. He's a pretty nice story when you talk about a prospect. Playing shortstop, he was the number 3 overall pick in what was that, the 2015 draft by the Rockies? Baseball America had him rated as the number 1 major league prospect going into that draft. So that's fun stuff.
They have to be excited about him, and he's the shortstop for the Asheville Tourists this season. South Atlantic League fans get a look at him. There's a strike to him, and now it's 2-1 to Brendan Rogers, batting with a runner at first and nobody out for the Southern Division. We're in the last half of the second inning. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm Keith Elkins. Jeff Parrott, former major league pitcher, alongside. And Kennedy Hardman is doing reports for us tonight. Chris Capers back in the studio on radio doing our production there.
So many of these young men that are drafted as shortstops in their high school or their college careers don't necessarily project as playing that in the major leagues. It's kind of rare to have a true shortstop prospect continue with that position. You know, at the high school level, your best player pretty much plays short and hits third when he's not pitching. So this guy is stuck with that role, and hopefully he'll move up, and we'll get to see him in the future.
Swinging a foul by Rogers, and you mentioned how tough it is and how many guys do end up being shifted off of shortstop either as they begin their professional careers or maybe after an unsuccessful season or two. It's a very difficult position to play. You've got to have a strong arm. You don't get second chances on ground balls. If you bobble it, it's most likely going to be an error or an infield hit, and so it really takes a special athlete to get it done over at short. And guys who start at shortstop, stay at shortstop, and reach the major leagues and have good careers, you've dwindled down to a few there.
There you go. It takes foot speed, it takes hands, and one thing at shortstop, like you said, you don't have to be the greatest athlete on the field, but you better have one of the better arms.
Here's a fly ball down the right field line, heading for foul territory and out of play down there beyond the bullpen patio, and this big crowd here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark tonight, the 57th South Atlantic League All-Star game.
Yeah, Rogers seems like a cool customer. Not afraid of his first round draft exposure with wearing number 1. Kind of taking his time, got his foot guarded, so apparently he likes to turn on the inside stuff and has been known to foul a ball off of that thing.
He waits for a 3-2 pitch from Payano, and it is swung on and fouled away to first base side, so we'll do it again.
It's probably ball 4, but Rogers just went ahead and made contact, fouled it off, keep himself alive.
He went after it, keep that at bat alive. He'll get another shot here at a Pedro Payano pitch as he looks in toward his catcher, Mercedes. Swinging a foul, and one more time on 3-2.
Catcher called for the inside fastball, left it over a little bit of the middle of the plate, but Rogers still couldn't wait, got it off the end, tapped it foul. You know, as a pitcher, sometimes you get all these foul balls in the 3-2 situation. You're going, how many strikes in a row can I throw, son? Hit one fair.
I was going to ask you about that because there always seem to be a good number of fouls on 3-2. There is strike 3. He did get it and got over the outside corner that time.
That was a nice pitch. That was a breaking ball, 3-2 with only 1 out in the inning. Catcher made the call, pitcher made the pitch.
Sam Hilliard, the Asheville left fielder, gets ready to step in.
Another of the middle round drafted prospects. You know, of the 52 players in the game today, Keith, only 10 of them were 5th round picks or higher. So, you know, that just shows that performance really matters. Something that we talked about before. These guys, just getting your foot in the door, getting a chance is big.
Sam Hilliard with an 0-1 count. Next pitch is swung on and missed. That one dipped down under the bat when he went after it.
A lot of professional scouts here tonight watching these young men.
Chance to see a lot of talent gathered at the same place.
There you go. Rodney Henderson is here. He's a scout with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's a former Keith Madison project from the University of Kentucky and played with the Montreal Expos in the major leagues. Been around for a while, now been scouting for about 15 years. He was an amateur scout for a while, watching high school and college. Now all he does is watch professional games and rate these guys.
Here's the pitch, a swing and a drive into left, and there's Polo, and he makes the catch for the second out in the bottom of the second inning. Yeah, the scouting responsibilities generally divided that way, and the guys that follow the professional teams might be here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark to take in a series involving the Legends and their opponents from the South Atlantic League, and then move on to another ballpark in the Southeast. Usually it's a regional kind of assignment.
Right, there you go, and it's important stuff because, you know, these are the guys that are involved as the second and third players in these drafts or these trades that will be coming up at the trade deadline in late July. And if you pick the right guy out that can help your team, that makes you look better as a scout. So good luck to Rod on that.
Swing and a miss by Jonathan Daza, the right fielder. He's with the Asheville Tourists. Asheville well represented in this ball game tonight. And Daza batting with a runner at first and 2 outs now, the bottom of the second. Northern Division leads at 1-0.
Daza with 21 doubles in 52 games. That's hitting it in the gap.
That is hitting it in the gap. And of course they play in kind of a different park down there in Asheville too, but if you can hit, it'll show up wherever you are, and Daza has had a fine year.
Is it the dimensions?
The dimensions are, this is 373 to straightaway center. You'll love this, it's 320 to right center. And the wall goes up to 42 feet high there.
Oh,
so
man.
You do have to hit it well to hit it over the wall, but you don't have to hit it real well to hit it off the wall. So there are a lot of doubles in that park, but there are a lot of good hitters that have come through that Colorado system too. So
okay, that stat may be overrated. So he hits a lot of balls like that there. Wait, no, not quite like that. That one
fly first base side, and that's going to be caught at first base. Catch made by first baseman Arribas, and we have come to the end of 2 here in the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. The score of the Northern Division 1, the Southern Division 0. Back with more in a moment on the Legends.
All-Stars earlier, and we come bearing gifts. Get up out of your seat and make some noise for some free All-Sports t-shirts! Come on, All-Stars! Make them earn it. If they're not screaming, don't throw it to them. Woo! All Sports is located at Fayette Hall. They are a Lexington legend themselves, and they hook us up with free t-shirts.
And make new memories with your family. Check out baseballhall.org today for more information.
Had a lot of little boy in it right there, Joe.
National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, preserving history, honoring excellence, and connecting generations.
Hi, Legends fans. This is Michael Stockton. Follow the Legends all season long on the Legends Radio Network.
Soroka. Back for the top of the 3rd inning at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, South Atlantic League All-Star Game. And a new pitcher on for the Southern Division All-Stars. Mike Soroka in the ball game, and one of the highly regarded prospects in the Atlanta organization.
6'4", 195-pound right-hander. 1-5. But 66 innings, 61 hits, 61 Ks. He's had good numbers, and like we said, when you're a starting pitcher in this league, it's tough.
Here's the wind, the pitch from Soroka, and the first one is low and in.
He looks reckless and dangerous when he's pitching out there. I'd say my heart would be in it, but my bottom would be towards the dugout.
The pitch on the way, and a swing and a drive by Schrock into center field. Ditter goes back, still going back, and he hauls it in right near the warning track, maybe even on the warning track out in deep center field. Ray Patrick Ditter showing that good speed, tracked it down in center.
Yeah, the quarterback led him nice for the deep down and out route right there, and he pretty much ran that ball down, hesitated for a second. Wind caught it, carried it, but he's foot speed caught up to the ball.
Here is Tito Polo from the West Virginia Power.
What a great name. I think I have one of those shirts. Is that a color or a style, the Tito? I'm not sure.
The Tito? Yeah. Well, he could go either direction, I guess, once he makes it, and he's on his way, I think, with a great year at West Virginia. Certainly about ready to head on to the next classification in the Pirates organization. Swung and missed at that one from Soroka.
There you go. Famous St. Louis Cardinals outfielder Tito Landrum at one time.
Tito Landrum. Remember Tito Landrum. Here's a ground ball to second. That one fielded by Sienna. Stays with it and throws him out.
That ball was trying to eat somebody out there. It was hit hard. Little deflection by Soroka, the pitcher, slowed it down just enough for the second baseman to get his glove down.
Soroka from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And a good number of major leaguers have come from Canada, and they often have that national team experience when they get to the U.S.
Sometimes major league teams look at those northern guys like people that will have extra innings left in their arm because they only get like a 3-month season throughout their high school career and even in college. So they like the freshness.
The 0-1 pitch to Mercedes is in there for a strike. Yermin Mercedes bounced out his first time, 0 for 1. He's the catcher, and he's with the Delmarva Shorebirds. Swing and a miss. So a good inning for Soroka. Sets him down in order, and we will go to the bottom of the third inning with the score. The Northern Division 1, the Southern Division 0. Back with more of the South Atlantic League All-Star Game after this on the Legends Network.
In healthcare, there's a lot to be said for heart. In fact, heart is what CareSource is all about. It's the difference between listening to a phone message and speaking to an actual nurse. The difference between being lost in the system or steering through it with a steady friend. Heart is at the core of a health plan that's focused on people more than profits. You have a choice in healthcare. Choose CareSource. Learn more at
Bertman. He walked away from Kentucky in 2003.
Shirts, lucky socks, lucky seats, all set. Let's go, Legends!
Some Legends fans believe in superstition and luck, but the winning teams at KU believe in planning. Planning for tomorrow while providing safe, reliable energy you can count on today.
Wait, where's my lucky hat?
And that kind of forward thinking brings new ways to make your life easier, like outage texting, paperless billing, and custom bill notifications.
Sit right here. I saved you the seat.
Lucky me. KU. Our energies go to serving you.
Take me out to the ballpark where the food is. And barbecue, burgers and hot dogs and the popcorn too. You'll support Kentucky for families. So order a good and loud. Say I love a good game. I love Kentucky food. I'm Kentucky proud.
Look for Kentucky Proud in stores and online at kyproud.com.
This is Hunter Pence. Follow the Legends all season long on the Legends Radio Network.
We are back for more of the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. It's the bottom of the third inning, and of course the All-Star Game includes a lot more than just the ball game. These players have a chance to experience a few of the special events too, and Kennedy Hartman is going to tell us about one of them today. Kennedy?
Thanks, Keith. Tony's Lexington hosted these All-Stars and their family who came in town for this game for a nice little luncheon. And of course, you know, it wouldn't be an event here in Lexington without a speech from John Calipari. That's right, Coach Cal spoke to all of these players today at the lunch and told them, you know what, let's speak about the mental aspect of this game. You can't let your lows be too low. Reversely, you can't have your highs be too high, and you need to find confidence from within. You shouldn't be looking at your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your uncle, or even online. What do you say, Keith? Words of wisdom from the Hall of Fame coach.
Well, I'm sure they listened intently, and they should have, because Cal has compiled the kind of record that gets your attention, and he did have a chance to talk to the young ball players today, and you have attitude that takes you to accomplishment, and Calipari knows about that and about working with top athletes, and I think the baseball players who are here in town got a chance to hear from a winning coach and appreciated the opportunity today. Thanks very much, Kennedy. And Jeff, you know, you have approaches in sports, and most guys played more than one growing up, and you do have to have something in common as far as how you approach things and the kind of work you get done, even if the particular things that you do are going to be different in each sport.
That's exactly right. There was A famous sports psychologist, Harvey Dorfman, wrote a book, The Mental Game of Baseball, and it transcends all sports. Such things as you tell a kid, don't do this, there's no mental image for don't. So if you say don't throw a high pitch, he's going to see it in his mind as a high pitch. Cal's a master of that sort of thing. You're not going to hear a whole lot of got to do something out of Cal either, because that's a negative response. You know, you really don't got to do anything.
And the guys who can learn to be good teammates and continue to do the kind of work that they need to do to succeed are going to be the ones most likely to get it done and get to the top level. As Gonzalez grounded a single to left to lead it off. Mitchell Gonzalez, the Greenville drive, on at first base now. And Jonathan Morales of the Rome Braves is the batter. Luke Leftwich is the new pitcher. He's with the Lakewood Blue Claws, so he's on to do the pitching for the Northern Division as we go to the bottom of the third.
The guy I mentioned was a sports psychologist with the Oakland A's in 1992, so I had spent 6 years already not knowing these things.
Here's a ground ball to Hayes at third, and they turn the 5-4-3 double play. Hayes to Schrock.
Nice pickup by Hayes right there. He charged in and got that ball on a short hop so he could cut it off quicker. Look at him come in and pick it. Quick throw to second. Plenty of time for the double play.
That was the key there, him being able to make that short hop pickup cleanly, and then got rid of it in good shape to Schrock. On to Arribas to complete the double play, and now 2 outs and nobody on. Ray Patrick Ditter back up for his second at bat. He's batting in the leadoff position. He's struck out in the first inning.
Looking for a little redemption here. Get him a pitch. Yeah, that play at third base, if he steps back and tries to get it on the big hop, might have got an out at first, but that would have happened. So took the chance and it played out for him.
Here's the pitch by Leftwich, and there's a pop fly back this way and out of play. Luke Leftwich 7-3 for Lakewood through the first half of the season. ERA of 2. He has started 12 games, 67 2/3 innings pitched, 55 hits, 15 runs, 18 bases on balls, and 88 strikeouts for Luke Leftwich. So another really good strikeouts to walks ratio.
It's a little confusing. Leftwich throwing right-handed.
Yeah.
Is that one side of your sandwich when you slice it in half?
The Leftwich? Yeah. Here's a strike 3 call to Ditter, and he is out, and with the double play, it's now the end of the inning, and we are coming to the end of the third. And after 3, the score, the Northern Division 1 and the Southern Division nothing. Back with more in a moment from the South Atlantic League All-Star Game at Whitaker Bank Ballpark on the Legends Network.
To Kip Allen. Happy 6th birthday, Kip. Hope you're having a stash-tastic time. All right, folks, we're heading in front of the Northern Division All-Stars to the field. Microphone Mike and the All Sports All-Stars.
That's right. Our good friends at Midway University, right down the street, they're known worldwide for their equine research, so you've probably heard from them no matter where you're from today. But they also have a degree program in sports management. These guys are seniors at Midway with a degree in bowling expertise, so we thought we'd bring them out on the All-Star Game. What's your name?
Trace Kincaid.
And?
Trace Kincaid.
Okay. All right, let's see who's got it. Go. All right, you got how many you get? 3? All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, bowl. Oh, yeah, you thought it was going to be easy. 1 more for each guy. Come on. Oh, he left 2 up. That might be your winner right there. Oh, only if the wind had blown a little bit longer. Good job, man. We're going to give you both prize packs from the Lexington Legends promo closet on behalf of Midway University. Check them out at midway.edu. Ty Cobb.
That's right, folks.
Hi, Legends fans. This is John Watson of Kansas City Royals. Follow the Legends all season long on the Legends Radio Network.
Back at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, and we have the Lexington Legends representative into the ball game. Left-hander Emilio Ogando will take the mound.
And now pitching from the Lexington Legends, the left-hander, number 21.
There's Emilio Ogando. The windup he goes.
Already 70 innings pitched on the season.
And the first one outside to Jose Pujols. Emilio Ogando, 22 years old, from Valrico, Florida. Here's a ball low now, 2-0 to Pujols. Ogando has had some good stretches in this first half, 4-7 record, a 4.46 ERA.
You know he really wants to impress the home crowd.
Yeah, he seemed to be very excited about this whole all-star process, and of course, as things have developed, he is the Legends' lone representative active in the ball game. There's a fly ball into short right center field, should be caught, and it is for out number 1 as the catch made by Daza in right field, and Pujols is retired for out number 1 in the 4th inning.
3 balls, no strikes, nobody out, and he swings away. So
must be an all-star game.
Yeah, that's a big power hitting type, but as a pitcher, that's it takes a little sweat off your brow.
Kind of helps out there a little bit to get that leadoff man after going 3-0. Here's the pitch, and Brian Hayes takes a swing and fouls it off toward the third base side.
I'm sure Cabrian has no desire to take strike 3 again in this at bat. Trying to be aggressive right there.
Now time is called as Ogando got ready to deliver that pitch. We have activity in both bullpens now as the managers are running through the pitching staffs on each side to get these guys into the ball game. 1-1 the count now to Brian Hayes. Ogando fires the next one, and that's low one in and goes back to the screen.
I think that may have hit him in the foot, Keith, but
it sounded like it hit something, didn't
it?
Yeah,
in the All-Star game, you just keep swinging.
You don't want to lose your at bat there.
That's right.
Here's the pitch, a swing and a line drive into center field, and a diving effort by Ditter, and he's got it. Ray Patrick Ditter, a diving catch in center field to take a hit away from Brian Hayes, and that was an all-star caliber play.
Yeah, what a tough angle, coming straight at the ball and dove straight at it. I mean, just a lot of nerve. And look, there's a 4-man umpiring crew. The guy's right on top of it. We couldn't hardly tell from here if it might have short hopped, but he was within 20, 25 feet of it. So
he was right there. Good point on the 4-man umpiring crew. That is just an all-star game thing, and the all-star umpires being recognized for their first half work as a swing and a miss now.
Good changeup. Gondo painted that one on the outside corner.
Alex Murphy, the hitter. There's a swing and a miss, and a good inning for Ogando. He sets him down in order, so the Legends representative has a good, strong showing in the All-Star game. We'll see if he comes back out for another inning. As the Northern Division is retired, we've come to the middle of the 4th inning with the score. The Northern Division 1 and the Southern Division nothing. Back with more from the South Atlantic League All-Star game right after this on the Legends Network.
All right, folks, we do have some groups in attendance here on the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. When I call out your group, give me a big old yell down there in the seating bowl or out in one of the party areas. The Nicholasville Baptist Church. 13 and under, Southern Kentucky Knights. South Lexington Youth Baseball. Kentucky Knights of the Pythagoras. The Neogen Corporation. First District, Lexington Fayette Urban County Council. Out on the Pepsi party deck, Snap-on Tools. And our good friends at the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company. Once again, we always want to thank our good friends at Paul Miller Ford presenting our Field of Dreams teams. Down to you, Mike. What do you got?
That's right, guys. An all-star squad today and an all-star edition of Kentucky Lottery's Legends Idol. What's your name?
Darwin.
Darwin, turn around and look at the video board.
So put my hands up to play my song, the butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah. Moving my hips like yeah. Put my hands up to play my song, I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a party in the USA.
Right. Darwin, all he's got to do is sing better than those Legends players, and you'll be tonight's Kentucky Lottery Legends Idol. When Ty plays the music. Playing my song, you know it's gonna fly away. Netting my head like yeah, bruising my hips like whoa. Hands up, playing my jam, so it's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a party in the USA, you know. Yeah, ain't my song.
Oh, he knows the whole song.
Remix! Darwin, you just won $25 worth of free Kentucky Lottery scratch-offs and a prize pack and free lottery tickets for your whole section. Congratulations.
Wherever or however you're listening to us or watching, we certainly appreciate you being with us tonight. Been a good ball game. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the North, and no runs, 1 hit, and no errors for the South. And it'll be Vinny Sienna in to face yet another new pitcher. Jeffrey Rodriguez of the Hagerstown Suns is on to do the pitching.
That's right. I was getting a kick watching these catchers warm up these pitchers. You know, they're not that familiar with it. And when these guys throwing 94, 95 miles an hour, you want to at least get a little clue of which way it might move, not to mention which pitch he might throw.
Got to have a little communication, and they have had little opportunity to do that up to this point. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Sienna grounds it to second. Schrock in there at second base from Hagerstown throws him out at first, and Sienna is retired for the first out in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, and the last thing one of these catchers want to do is let a ball fly by him in an all-star game. You know, it's embarrassing enough at any time, but we want to really try to keep it in front, especially with all these people watching.
Brian Mundell is the batter. Obviously, everybody who's playing in this game has had a good first half, but Mundell has put some impressive numbers on the board for the Asheville Tourists, right-handed hitter, and he's got some power at the plate.
Yeah, as I was talking to some of the scouting crew, the professional scouts around here today, this is the guy they're watching today. This is somebody that could improve anybody's organization.
And the 1-1 from Rodriguez, and there is a strike as it turns out. He did go around to appeal to first base and got the call. So it's a strike to Mundell, 1-2. He's from Santa Clarita, California. And he swings and lines it into right field, and that's going to get down for a hit. Toward right center to get it is Pujols.
Nice piece of hitting right there. Kept his hands inside, fought it off, got himself on first base.
He was chosen, Mundell was, by the Rockies in the 7th round of the June 2015 draft, and played in college at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, freshman All-America there. So Brian Mundell with some experience relative to the South Atlantic League, and having a fine year for Asheville. Now it's Josh Ockamy again, DH tonight from the Greenville Drive, walked his first time. Here's a strike from Rodriguez.
You know, you kind of wonder what is in front of a guy like Mundell to have that much success and not be moved up to another position. So somebody in front of him is probably doing pretty well too.
That's another part of the dilemma of a minor league baseball player, as Ockamy swings and misses, because you can be having a good year, your classification, and there has to be room to move up unless you're just stomping down that door, and so it takes always 2 moves to get one guy moving up. Somebody else has to be ready to move on or possibly move back down if necessary, but it's not always quite as simple as it might sound if a guy's putting up good numbers as to why he might not be moving up right away.
No, that's exactly right. You know, one of the worst jobs, I believe, in baseball was the AAA shortstop for the Yankees during the 18 years of the Derek Jeter era. There wasn't anywhere to go. But fortunately, minor leaguers have some things to protect them. They have to be moved onto a professional roster after 3 years, or they have to be hooked up into the big leagues by 6, or they become a free agent, so they get a chance to move to some other teams.
They do have some options now, and of course that you go back to what is now the old days of baseball, and when a guy signed a contract, you were pretty much that team's property for life, and your options were to sign the contract that they offered you or not sign it and not play. And some guys did hold out, but only a few had the kind of influence where they could hold out and have it mean something.
That's exactly right. Baseball has a great players union. It represents us well.
Here's the pitch by Rodriguez, and Ockamy bounces it through into right field. That's a base hit. And now 2 men are on with 1 man out, and the tying run is on at second base in a 1-0 ball game in the Northern Division. On top here in the bottom of the 4th inning, but singles by Mundell and Ockamy have a threat riding now for the Southern Division. And Brendan Rodgers is the next hitter. We've talked about him, a very highly regarded shortstop, the number 3 overall pick in the draft, and don't come much more highly regarded than that, and he has produced for the Asheville club in the Colorado organization.
Yeah, and I believe if he ever gets to the big leagues, he'll hit there too. I pitched in Colorado. Guys can hit there.
It does carry out there. Here's the pitch, a strike called.
10% more carry on the ball. 10% less break on your curve.
Wow, that's a terrible combination for a pitcher, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. But 10% break on a 59-footer makes it a 59.9 footer, and that's still out of the zone.
There's a swing and a foul by Brendan Rogers. A good play by a fan down in the stands, and got a great crowd here for the All-Star game, and it's turned out to be a great evening as far as the weather is concerned too. Some rain this afternoon. Tarp was on and off a couple of times, and batting practice had to be moved inside. There's a ball to Rogers. 1-2 count now to the indoor facility, which is back behind the clubhouses, behind the right field wall here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, but able to have the legendary derby, the home run derby, and then some. That was able to be held pretty much as scheduled, only a slight delay. There's a swing and a miss, and he got Rogers.
Yeah, some of my old friends were participating in that home run derby, brought to you by Geritol and Ben Gay.
Well, you can always go out and take a few swings, but you usually feel it the next morning, don't you? That's after a few years have passed. You can still go out and put the bat on the ball, but usually the impact is felt a little more over the next couple of days.
There you go. That's what Rick Sutcliffe said the other day on his Major League broadcast, was that he could probably get somebody out for a day, but his recovery time would be 2 months.
That's right. One appearance and then some time on the DL. What are your thoughts on Rodriguez here as you see him in the early part of this inning?
I think he's done well. He's had a seeing eye ball over here at the first base side, but with the runner on first and the first baseman holding him, that gives an opportunity for a left-handed hitter to put it through there, and our guy did it. That one doesn't quite have the distance to do so, and the end of the inning.
And Arribas takes that one, steps on the bag, and Hilliard is retired on the bouncer to first, and the Southern Division gets 2 on but does not score. We've completed 4 innings here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. Northern Division leads it 1-0. Back after this on the Legends Network.
All right, folks, we have some of our mascots returning to the field for a little dance-off. We've got, coming out, we've got the Mango Man from BD's. We've got Little Z from Zaxby's. Also, we have Buckles from Keeneland, Y'all Star from the Florence Freedom, Rudy from our good friends at A&W Restaurants, the Colonel from EKU, Big L, and Pee Wee.
Well, it's a big show.
First up, we got Little Z. Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby, come on.
Little Z doing the old Big Show. Up next, we have Rudy doing the wobble from A&W Restaurants.
All the shorties in the club, let me see you just back it up, drop it down, let me see you just get low, scrub the ground, let me see you just push it up,
uh-oh, Rudy.
Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble.
Folks, be on the lookout how you can get a root beer float. Coming up. Up next, we have the Mango Man from BD's doing the nay-nay.
You already know what it is. Solid talk, solid talk, solid talk. Go and do it for me. Now watch me whip, kill it. Now watch me nay-nay. Okay. Now watch me whip, whip. Watch me nay-nay.
Uh-oh, it's time for Buckles to do the YMCA, where it's going to be abbreviated YMCA. So, Buckles, let's see how you do that.
Yeah, I bet it's like probably negative temperatures in there. Those guys are making cheese. Hopefully they wash that thing out before they get back in it again. But
well, you know, that is kind of an ongoing chore to keep those things clean, keep that costume clean, because obviously, you know, you have to have a little different personality with your mascot. I mean, it's the same mascot, of course, but you got to have a little different personality with it. And so sometimes it's a team-oriented kind of thing, and you're not a good teammate if you don't keep the mascot costume clean.
Right. There's some great famous mascots out there. The San Diego Chicken was one of the first that really brought it to the forefront, but the Philly Fanatic may be the most entertaining of them all.
He is very, very good. The Philly Fanatic and certainly has established himself in the history of mascots as one of the all-time greats, you might say. He is in the background of the famous Glenn Hubbard baseball card back in 1984 when Hub was posing with the snake, and that was written about in the New York Times, that card, and this past Sunday by Tyler Kepner, the national baseball writer, and he wrote that card was just a collection of bizarre items, including the snake and including the Philly Fanatic in the background and some guy in a Barney Rubble costume and all sorts of things going on, and has since become an iconic baseball card, and now it's going to be commemorated in a bobblehead at Whitaker Bank Ballpark coming up on Friday night. Leadoff single by Irizarry in the top of the 5th inning, and the Northern Division has a man on. Hello, Bobby Flynn. How are you?
Just wanted to say hello.
Well, good to see you out at the ballpark.
Yeah.
We're
Absolutely.
glad to have you. All right.
See you, Mr. Flynn. Way to go, man.
I'll cripple up, you know.
Bobby Flynn, for those of you following from other areas of the country, if you're from around Lexington, you know Bobby. He has been a part of the sports scene here for probably 60 years at least, I would think, Jeff, going back to the old days of the Lexington Hustlers. He was quite a ball player in his younger days, and since has become involved in the sports scene, and in his later years now has become involved. You see him at the ballpark or at the Rupp Arena, doing the ushering work and helping fans and media types get to the right place, and has been doing that for many, many years, just a fixture here in local sports.
Absolutely. His brother was an outstanding athlete too, Chigger Flynn, back in the day. And now they've produced a son that's famous for some sort of baseball thing. I'm not sure what he did. Oh, yeah, the glue that held the big red machine together. That's what he is.
Did he tell you that?
Doug Flynn. Yeah, he's got T-shirts.
Doug Flynn, of course, was part of the 75 and 76 Reds, and he's from here in Lexington. And Doug's still very active in baseball as well, and doing some broadcasting work with the Reds and doing some work for KET on their Kentucky Life Series. Here's a swing and a ground ball as runner was going. He bounced it right through the hole into right center, and around to third is Irizarry, and on at first base is Arribas, who was batting in that number 9 spot, unless they hit for him, and we'll check that in just a moment. As the Northern, that is Arribas, Daniel Arribas from the West Virginia Power, and now the Northern Division has runners on at first and third, and we talked earlier about maybe leaving the fundamentals behind, but he poked a pretty good hit and run hit through there to get the runner over to third.
It was. The runner took off on the pitch but did not look back to see if he was going to make contact, and the ground ball almost hit him in the foot. That would have been an out and an error.
Here's a ball high now to Victor Robles, batting for the 3rd time tonight. He had a base hit and a run scored in the first inning. 1-0 Northern Division. They got runners at first and third, nobody out, so a scoring threat for them here in the 5th inning. And Christian Morris doing the pitching now from the Charleston River Dogs.
It looks like they're not planning on going and trying to cut this guy off at the plate. They'll play for the double play ball as the third baseman, second baseman, and shortstop are all deep in the infield.
Victor Robles, plenty of speed at home plate as well. Here's a swing and a miss by Robles.
Yeah, that was quite a cut. He wasn't trying to hit the ball to deep pitcher right there. This guy's had a nice year. Not a very big man, but nice power.
Robles waits for a 1-2 pitch from Morris. Here it is. And he swung and fouled it off, and kind of stayed back on that one. Looked like at least got a cut at it to foul it off.
Yeah, he kind of seemed to see that hanging breaking ball pretty well right there and just fouled it off. He was on it. And, you know, as a pitcher, if you're going good, they foul that off when you make a mistake. When you're going bad, you throw your best pitch and it's something in the gap.
Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a foul over toward the Northern Division dugout by Robles. Christian Morris, 4-2 on the year, 2.38 ERA. 45 1/3 innings pitched, and he's walked 12 and struck out 42. Hitters are batting .219 against him.
Yeah, he's had a nice season so far. Big, tall righty, throwing hard, 91.
Here's the pitch. Runner goes from first. Pitch low and away. The throw down to second, and he is out at second base. As Sienna took the throw and put it on the runner Arribas, and he is cut down at second base.
That was really a quick release by the catcher. Stands up, not hardly any movement, just one small step towards second base and put it right on the money.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count now to Robles. And the breaking ball is down and in the dirt.
I guess in an all-star game, that run at third doesn't mean too much. The infield still playing back, just looking for an out. Surely the hitter will go on contact, something on the ground, tagging anything in the air, and freezing on a line drive.
Matt Wynn doing the catching now for the Southern Division. Here's the pitch and a swing and a pop foul back. So it was Wynn who made the strong throw. 6'1", 210 from Richmond, Virginia, and plays for the Augusta Green Jackets.
He just got a gold star on his scouting report for that throw.
3-2 the count. Robles batting with a runner at third and one down now. 3-2 pitch, and he went around. That is strike three, and now that's the second out of the inning.
You know what an advantage it is to have a catcher that can throw. I was fortunate to get to play with Benito Santiago one time when he was in Philadelphia. The only problem about that, he had such a good arm that a lot of times he threw it back to you faster than you threw it to him. You're like, Benito, man, you're making me look bad. You know, lob one or something. He's no, you throw harder.
Yeah, you see a catcher come up out of the crowds to throw, and sometimes he would just throw from his knees wherever he was going to send it.
Yes, just an outstanding talent, and we could get it there like a frozen clothesline. It was a really beautiful thing to watch.
1-0 the count. The batter, Max Schrock, the second baseman from the Hagerstown Suns. The pitch, and there is a ball low to him. Schrock a double in the first inning, a fly ball hit just short of the wall in right field.
Well, Morris went from first and third, nobody out. Now he's got a man on third, 2 outs. Good chance to get out of this inning right here.
He's got a 2-0 pitch to deliver, and there's a base hit, and Schrock has driven in another run.
My bad. It's like telling a guy how good a free throw shooter he is. Should have waited till after the at bat.
Schrock got the base hit to drive home the run, and here's Ari scored from third, and now it's a 2-0 lead for the Northern Division. They've out-hit the Southern Division by a count of 7-3, and Schrock didn't hit it real hard, but he got the bat on it, got it out up to center field, and he's got another RBI. That's 2 for him.
There's our favorite name player, or my favorite, Tito Polo.
Tito Polo, the minor league website usually has a contest, the Moniker Madness, where they pair players with interesting names up with one another. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the past winners was Rugned Odor, who's now establishing himself in the big leagues. There's a swing and a fly ball into left field, and Hilliard is over there, and the Asheville Tourist outfielder makes the catch to retire the side, but another run home for the Northern Division in the 5th. And we go to the bottom of the 5th with the score, the Northern Division 2 and the Southern Division nothing. Back with more of the South Atlantic League All-Star Game after this on the Legends Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, earlier during the home run derby, we knocked a couple home runs off the Raising Cane's foul poles. Now we're going to introduce you to the Raising Cane's Lucky Row. Let me find it. I know I'm in the right section. Yep. Section 105, row 2. Guess what? Y'all just won free chicken finger combos from Raising Cane's.
Yeah, baby.
All right, take one and pass them down here. Hey, Ty.
What's up, Mike?
Why are there mascots on our field?
Well, we're going to continue this little mascot dance-off, and we've got the Eastern Kentucky University Colonel doing a little Gangnam Style.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
All right, everybody's personal favorite dance, the Macarena by the Florence Freedom Y'all-Star. Oh, dance along, folks, if you'd like. Once again, we want to thank all of our mascots in attendance with us tonight here at the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. Your attention, fans, entering the game and pitching.
And for the pitcher on the mound for the Northern Division All-Stars, Eric Swanson of Hickory, the Charleston River Dogs, Southern Division champions for the first half, well represented in this All-Star game, and Kennedy Hartman has more about that. Let's go to Kennedy.
Thanks, Keith. You know, it's just as much of a dream for the coaches out here to make it to the big leagues as it is for the players. I mean, that's what the minor leagues is all about. Now, the Charleston River Dogs, they have 5 pitchers represented here today. 2, though, will not throw, so it's looking pretty good for River Dogs pitching coach Justin Pope. Now, the 2 guys that won't throw, their starters, unfortunately, Nestor Cortez and Darius Vargas. They pitched right before this All-Star game, so they have to give their arm some rest, although Cortez didn't take no easily. He went up to pitching coach Pope and said, "Is there anything I can do? Please let me play in this game," to which Pope responded. He said, "You could offer me $1 million," and the answer would still be no.
All right, thanks, Kennedy. Yeah, the pitching coach sometimes has to take a hard line when those guys want to get back in a ball game, or get back, stay in a ball game, or get back in action more quickly than they should. And that's particularly true at the minor league level, Jeff, where everybody's got to file a report every night, and you don't want a prize prospect doing something that he shouldn't be doing. And those pitching coaches have to put every detail in those reports, and they watch things pretty closely.
Right, probably, you know, even if it's 2 days from his last start, which would be his bullpen day when he'd be getting throwing in, it's not the same as pitching in a game. That extra extension and the adrenaline, and you never know how many pitches you're going to throw. So, you know, just being here sometimes, if you pitched recently, that needs to be good enough. But if we go 15 innings, he might talk his coach into it.
He might tonight. We'll figure out a way not to go 15 innings, I think. We'll have some infielders out there throwing before then. Northern Division leads it 2-0 as Southern Division now with a threat, the double by Gonzalez. And Matt Wynn, the batter now. He's going to come on to do the catching. We talked about his throw that he made. And he is taking over the catching chores and batting in that number 9 spot. Morales started.
Another one of those frozen ropes with his bat like he did with his arm up the middle might score us a run.
Here's a swing and a miss, though, by Wynn, and he is down on strikes. And quickly there are 2 outs. Daza grounded out to second, and Gonzalez followed with the double to left field, and then Wynn with the strikeout. Now here's Ray Patrick Ditter, the outfielder from the Rome Braves. He has struck out twice tonight, so they have kept his speed off the base paths.
To me, that's okay for Wynn, though, because a catcher needs to be a defensive priority first. Anything comes from the offensive side is just bonus. There's not a lot of Buster Posies out there.
No, there aren't. And going back a little bit, Mike Piazza, there are not many like that. Here's a swing and a foul off to the right side.
Yeah, but he wasn't a great defensive catcher.
Well, that's true, too.
I couldn't say that, though. He could wad me up and put me in a tuna can if he wanted to. And he could hit me. Yeah, he didn't have any problem with that.
1 ball, 1 strike now to Ray Patrick Ditter. And the pitch on the way. Here it is, and that one got him. Looked like in the forearm, the left forearm possibly.
Maybe right in that left elbow pad. Wouldn't be the first time he got hit there, I don't think.
So Mark Kaiser, the Lexington Legends athletic trainer, will come out for a look. And if you're watching us on television, here's a look at it again.
Oh,
I think you're right. Right off the elbow.
It's not going to make that bruise go away anytime soon.
He wants to stay in, and it looks like that he will be able to stay in the ball game.
I guess the idea of the elbow pad is to spread out the contact so it goes over more of your elbow, but he's not wiggling his fingers, so it stayed off that ulnar nerve. You know, if he didn't have that elbow pad, that would have really hurt.
That would have really hurt. If you get that nerve, there's usually some dancing that goes on then too. You know, it takes a little while to shake that off, and assuming even if you're not injured in any way, it's going to take a couple of minutes to get things back to normal.
Oh yeah, everybody's done it on the side of a chair, but what if you hit that side of the chair at 90 miles an hour?
Oh. So Ditter on at first base.
I saw him shaking
on
it.
At second.
He's still, you know, you're not supposed to rub it. Put a little dirt on it, son. Get back in there.
Benny Sienna is the hitter from the Columbia Fireflies. If you're just joining us, the Fireflies taking advantage of that team nickname to have the glowing jerseys. And they're having a good time down in Columbia. Their first year of operation. The team moved from Savannah during the offseason. They're still a Mets farm club.
Too bad they can't get those jerseys to blink.
Well, maybe a special night some night they can do that. Blinking jersey night.
Yeah, the Fireflies are alive and well out at our place.
1-2 pitch. Here it is, and a swing and a foul back.
Hanging tough, doesn't want to take no for an answer at the plate.
Eric Swanson, the pitcher, a big man at 6'3" and 220. He's from Terrace Park, Ohio, and played at 4 different levels in the Texas organization last year: Round Rock, Frisco, Hickory, and the Arizona League. Now with Hickory again here in 2015 or 2016. Here's a swing and a miss. He gets Sienna, and that's the inning. So a 1-out double by Gonzalo, but Southern Division still scoreless. We played 5. It's the Northern Division 2 and the Southern Division nothing. Back with more of the South Atlantic League All-Star Game from Whitaker Bank Ballpark after this on the Legends Network.
78 baseball degrees, and folks, I think it's time for a beer. A delicious West 6 beer, to be exact. And folks, during the 6th inning, we call West 6th inning. You can grab one of those West 6 beers for only $1 at the West 6 brewing locations in the concourse. Grab a West 6 beer for only $1 during the West 6th inning. Think local, drink local, and drink a West 6 beer during the West 6th inning. We're coming out the short right field microphone, Mike, and the All Sports All-Stars.
That's right, an all-star edition of the Summer Splash contest. We brought out the knocker balls out here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. We love all sports. So, we're going to play knocker soccer. On the count of 3, you guys are going to take off running. First one to get to that soccer ball and score a goal wins a free day pass to Summer Splash. 1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh.
Who's going to recover? There it is. Now he's got to play defense. Oh, goal kick. Or was it a corner? You okay? And who wants to get in those next? Well, as soon as we get them out of the Bubble Boys over here, I'm going to find out their name. And you know what? I'm going to give them both a free day pass to Summer Splash Water Park in Somerset, Kentucky. Awesome, guys.
For the top of the 6th inning, another new pitcher on in the ball game, and it is Cody Carroll, a right-hander with the Charleston River Dogs, takes over here in the 6th. Other changes for the Southern Division.
Luke Dykstra comes in to play second base.
Yeah, Luke Dykstra, son of Lenny Dykstra, is in at second base. Luke Dykstra plays for the Rome Braves.
Certainly takes some of his style from his mother, because at this point in the game, his dad would have been completely dirty if he'd have played or not.
Whether playing or not, that's correct. Lenny Dykstra had that reputation, and well, earned it. Wasn't just the reputation. Wasn't just talk.
No, that's exactly nails.
And the first pitch hits the batter, so that's the way it starts for Carroll.
He hits the catcher. That
Tyler
sure
Sanchez.
Wasn't on purpose for the one before. First pitch of the inning. Maybe just overthrew it a little bit. Squared him up right in the back. Everybody's smiling at first, except for the guy that got hit.
So all seems to be good. Tyler Sanchez of the Hickory Crawdads is on at first base. Brian Mundell of Asheville is holding him on over there. Cody Carroll.
You know, those kind, I don't care how tough you are, that makes a nice bullseye mark on your back right there. You'll have the dark purple in the middle with the ring around the outside and sometimes some seams. They're young. They heal fairly fast.
Here's a swing and a miss. And we got a hitter up there from the Greensboro Grasshoppers, Isaiah Soto, left-handed batter. And there's a ball outside, 1-1 to Soto.
Southern Division would like to shut these guys down and keep us in reach. Oh.
Ball pops out of the catcher's glove, but no advance by Sanchez at first.
Some of that, I'm sure, is lack of familiarity with catching a guy, but that was another pitch that was right into a right-handed batter's back, probably right through the right-handed batter's box.
Here's a line drive foul down the third baseline, and that one came pretty close to the third base umpire. We have a four-man umpiring crew.
Yeah, somebody needs to be protecting the catcher down there. Usually we got a guy with a glove watching his back, and nobody's volunteering.
David Martinez, the third base umpire, had to dodge that one, but yeah, normally that's a chore taken care of as Soto strikes out as the catcher for the visiting team and their bullpen here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark down the left field line has his back to home plate and completely turned back to home plate, and he needs some help out there from a teammate.
I used to enjoy going out and trying to back up those guys and see if you could make a play, flip one in the stands, and had some great conversations with some umpires during that time too.
So Soto down on strikes. Here's Danny Mendick, an infielder from the Kannapolis Intimidators. He'll step in there for Ke'Bryan Hayes, who was 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout and a line out to center. There's a ground ball foul outside third.
Mendick, maybe one of the older guys in the game. There's a couple of guys that are approaching 24. He's 23, almost 23.
South Atlantic League has a wide variation in age. As you see guys sometimes as young as 18. Here's the pitch, a strike to him, and then other guys almost always with college experience who maybe have been set back by an injury or just maybe nearing the time when they have to move up or move out, but at the age of 23 or sometimes 24.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. You know, you want to be moving along pretty quickly at that point. Sometimes a pitcher may get away with it, but like you say, in this last Major League draft that we just had, each team took 38 or so players, probably signed 30. That's 30 spots in the organization that need to be cleared out.
Here's a swing and a fly to center, and that one is caught by Ditter, who's still patrolling center field. And that's the second out of the inning. Runner at first, 2 down, and here's Alex Murphy, the DH tonight. 1 out of 2, had a base hit back in the second and struck out in the fourth.
You know, it's a shame the young man that had to lead off the inning getting hit in the back, but the other hitters over there watching that, it might make him a little hesitant, knowing that he can hit people without trying. Oh, there's another one inside.
Nearly did it again, but Murphy turned away from that one.
If it was a real game, your hitters or your fielders and behind you would be saying, stop doing that, man, because they're going to come after us.
Swing and a miss.
Good slider.
Yeah. That one down and away, so that at least makes that first one look like it had a good purpose anyway, to go up and in and then down and away. There's one low and away.
That's a nice looking pitch right on the outside corner, 93 miles an hour.
The crowd wanted a strike. That's partly due to the promotion going on with the batter being the strikeout batter, but also a pretty good pitch from Carroll, swinging a foul.
Yep, already 13 strikeouts in the game. Guys are not trying to just put it in play, are they?
No, they aren't. They are up there taking some swings and having some fun in the All-Star game. Northern Division leads it 2-0. Swing and a ground ball foul outside third. Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A lot of these hitters are thinking sit on the back leg and grip it and rip it. Not a lot of strategy to try to get a run across. It's actually just go up there and see if we can string enough hits together in a row.
Just put some hits together. Northern Division, Schrock with 2 hits and 2 RBIs in the ball game. Here's a swing and a miss, and he got him.
Good slider.
Food item for everybody in the ballpark from A&W. As a result of the strikeout, that's a minor league type of promotion, and fans even at the All-Star game enjoy that. But a strikeout of Murphy ends the inning, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning with a score. The Northern Division 2 and the Southern Division nothing. Back with more from the South Atlantic League All-Star game right after this on the Legends Network.
It is our goal at Kerr Brothers Funeral Home to serve families in the central Kentucky region.
Check out their area locations right here in Lexington. Fans, Delta Dental is in the business of building smiles, and we are panning the audience now to find that Delta Dental winning smile of the game. Who's going to take home that mini oral health kit from our good friends at Delta Dental? Check out the video boards. Right there is our Delta Dental winning smile of the game. Aww. He's going home with a mini oral health kit from our good friends at Delta Dental. All the great stuff he wanted when he came to a baseball game. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, floss, all that good stuff. Our Delta Dental winning smile of the game. A big round of applause for our winner tonight at the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. Folks, with all the excitement going on during the game and surrounding our All-Star Game, we might have forgot to mention that we have those fireworks coming up after the game tonight. And folks, I know the people around Lexington know about those fireworks. If you're visiting Whitaker Bank Ballpark, folks, you are in store for a stash-tastic treat. It is our Mega Blast fireworks, and they are coming up after the game.
Tomorrow's stars here today on the Legends Radio Network.
Back for the bottom of the sixth inning, the Northern Division leading the Southern Division by a score of 2-0. I'm Keith Elkins, Jeff Parrott alongside. We've been getting reports from Kennedy Hardman throughout the game, and Chris Capers is handling the production duties in our radio studio at ESPN Sports Radio 1300. Another new pitcher on, and it is Zach Thompson of the Kannapolis Intimidators, a 6'7" right-hander from Burleson, Texas, 6'7" and 230. Fifth round pick in 2014 by the Chicago White Sox.
The Kannapolis Intimidators. There was a great name that was coaching those guys a few years ago. You probably remember him. Got to play with him in Indianapolis, AAA with the Expos. Razor Shines.
Razor Shines, yes. That is one of the great names, name-wise, ever in baseball, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's mayor of Indianapolis now. Well, if he's not, he should be.
Razor Shines. Yeah, he played with Montreal and I guess a few other clubs as well, but he had a little time in the major leagues.
He did. He helped lead that Indianapolis team to 2 straight International League championships up there.
New pitcher. Now with a 1-1 count on Brian Mundell. Zach Thompson into the ball game. Pitched in college at Texas Arlington. There's a strike to Mundell. And Thompson 5-2, a 2.96 ERA, 13 starts this year for the Intimidators.
Good curveball.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Mundell.
Thompson's kind of a sinker slider type of pitcher where the ball moves down and into a righty, and then he throws that ball that moves away with his breaking pitch. And you know, when I used to watch those guys throw in the bullpen, it looked like they moved in 2 different directions at the same time, and I was wondering how in the world anybody would ever hit that. But sometimes they do.
Yeah. Here's Josh Ackerman now, and he takes a ball, 1-0 the count, and that's 14 strikeouts now for Southern Division pitching. There's a ball high and outside.
Big 6'7" guy reminds me of an old Chicago Cub, Scott Sanderson.
Right.
Got the good sinker ball, 92-mile-an-hour sinker. That's pretty nasty.
I should say 14 strikeouts combined tonight. They're combining the total as they put it out on the scoreboard. It'll be actually got 15 now, 8 for the Northern Division pitchers and 7 for the Southern, as Ackerby grounds 1 foul outside first. 3-1 the count to Josh Ackerby.
Ackerby with the base hit in the hole last time, but nobody's on first to take away a fielder here.
Ackerby a walk and a single today, pops one up. He wants that one.
That's a home run and a silo.
Going to be caught by Mendick at third. Had to make kind of a basket catch on that one. But he made the play, and Ackerby is retired for the second out.
So we're going to get us a pitching change in the middle of the inning. Try to work in a lefty here.
Patrick Anderson is the manager of the Hagerstown Suns, and he's managing the Northern Division team. Patrick Anderson's club won the South Atlantic League Northern Division in the first half, so they're headed for the postseason. And he and Thompson enjoy a bit of a laugh as Anderson goes out to make the change, and that change will be made, and we'll take a break here as Zach Thompson leaves, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. We'll take a break for a pitching change. 2-0 Northern Division as we play in the bottom of the 6th on the Legends Network.
Paul Miller Ford, welcome to a 5-star experience.
If you're looking for fun stuff to do, check this website right here, our good friends at visitlex.com. Southern starts here.
It affects all of us, from a sprinkle of rain to the threat of a tornado.
One 1-800-578-0603 and ask for Passport Health Plan. We take the time to care.
Legends.
Dennis Martinez being mobbed by his teammates. A perfect game against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Tomorrow's stars here today on the Legends Radio Network.
New pitcher on the mound for the Northern Division is Jeff Springs. Hickory Crawdads. He's from North Carolina, from Belmont, North Carolina, and pitched in college at Appalachian State. Springs into the ball game.
Bring in a lefty to face a switch hitter. Probably just trying to work an extra arm into the game.
Springs will face Basabe from Greenville.
2 outs already in the inning. Just looking for the third. Good time for a rally, Southern Division. Here we go.
You guys good down there?
Pitch to Basabe, and now it's 2-0. Luis Alejandro Basabe.
That ball was floating like a knuckleball. I believe it was some kind of a split finger changeup.
Here's a swing and a pop fly foul off to the right side. He signed as an international free agent with the Boston Red Sox back in August of 2012, his 16th birthday. We were talking about young players before, and that same day his twin brother Luis Alexander Basabe also signed with the Red Sox, and they got the same bonus money, $450,000.
Wow, good for them. I would hope that Mother's Day improved around their house.
Luis Alejandro Basabe as the South Atlantic League All-Star, and he swings and misses, and Springs puts him away for the final out in the 6th. Down in order go the Northern Division batters, and we will go now to, or that was the bottom of the 6th. Check it. Southern Division goes down in order in the bottom of the 6th. Let's go to the top of the 7th. How about that? We'll do that right after this on the Legends Network.
Drag and some landscaping. It is the Diamond Landscape Grounds crew, led by our head groundskeeper, folks, Mr. Danny Bradley. Diamond Landscapes is your solution for all seasons. Let's give Danny and his crew a big round of applause as he's got this field looking stash-tastic for our South Atlantic League All-Star game. Now, folks, we also representatives from some local minor league teams. Britt Berry and his crew from the Dayton Dragons are also out there helping Danny, as well as a few of the guys from the Louisville Bats. So we do want to thank them for being right here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark.
Who wants a free squishy baseball from Lexington Clinic? Oh, y'all got to do better than that. Keep your shirt on. Keep your shirt on. Nice throw, Joe.
This shit, that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls.
Straight masterpiece.
Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty.
Here you go, Joe.
Call the police in the fire, man, I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man, I'm too hot.
Right here.
Say my name, you know who I am, I'm too hot. And my band about that money, break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah.
April.
Girls hit you,
April.
hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Top of the 7th, and new pitcher on the mound for the Southern Division, a right-hander from the Greenville Drive. They're a farm club of the Boston Red Sox, and Jake Cosart is the new pitcher, a third-round pick by Boston back in 2014. Pitched in college at Seminole State. And he is on to do the pitching for the Southern Division, and the Northern Division hitter is Jason Irizarry of the Hickory Crawdads.
Younger brother of a major league pitcher for the Astros, Jared Cosart.
He's from a baseball family. Now Jake Cosart, an all-star in the South Atlantic League.
I bet snowball fights are no fun in that family.
That's a couple of pretty good arms right there. You stay away from the Cosart household.
There you go. 94-mile-an-hour snowball in the ear would stick in there pretty far. So I guess it's a good thing to live in Texas.
From Friendswood, Texas. Went to college in Florida. So maybe not a lot of experience with the snowball. We could probably throw it pretty well if he got hold of one.
There you go.
0-2 pitch coming to Irizarry, and he fooled him on that one. He swung and missed for strike 3.
Nice pitch. Breaking ball down and away. You know, the old theory that good pitching slows down good hitting is certainly coming true tonight.
It certainly is. 2-0 the score. 7 hits for the Northern Division team and 4 hits only for the Southern Division. We mentioned that strikeout total continues to grow. 16 now. That's for both teams total. And a strikeout for Cosart as Daniel Arribas now steps in, the number 9 hitter in the Northern Division lineup. He started and still in the ball game. He's 2 for 2.
There's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Best one I've seen tonight, Keith.
Jake Cosart, the pitcher.
You know, the pitchers do have an advantage in a situation like this because a hitter can't really see a guy a couple or 3 times during the course of a game. He has to go up there and try to figure it out the first one. And it's showing up right now that it's hard to do.
Yeah, hitters trying to learn something with every at-bat and get up there in the late innings. And, of course, by that time, the pitcher may have a little bit of fatigue working against him, too. But not in this case. Everybody's fresh. Everybody's good. And there's just enough of a difference in style that hitting has been a pretty tough chore tonight.
That's right. If anything, if you have a good chance, that was one right there, a 2-0 strike, a 2-0 count. You pretty much know he's going to try to throw you a strike with a fastball. So he swung at it.
Here's the pitch, a swing and a high pop foul. Off to the right. That one in at 94 miles per hour from Cosart. It's now 2-2.
Yeah, you can tell the hitter's having trouble with it because he's even anticipating the fastball and still late.
Cosart looks in toward his catcher and now comes in with a 2-2. And he missed inside with it.
You pretty much know the guy. You've sped up his bat. He needs to be quicker to hit your fastball, so the curveball was a good choice there. Not in the zone.
Now a 3-2 pitch and a swing and a bouncer toward third. That's going to go foul. South Atlantic League will get back into regular season action on Thursday night, and you have that reprieve, Jeff, in the second half of the season. Everybody starts off 0-0, so chance to improve or try to repeat. In the case of the division champions, that's awfully difficult to do as Arribas draws a walk, but you have a lot of personnel changes in minor league baseball. Makes a lot of sense to just start the races over again.
It does. And, you know, after the draft and stuff, will more guys start moving, you think, here in this part of the season?
I would think so. We see a lot of movement around the All-Star break, just after sometimes, or sometimes even during the All-Star break. And draftees, not often, but sometimes will even come to this level to get started. Most of the time it's in a short season league, even for the top round picks. But once those top round guys, especially if they're college guys, if they establish themselves a little bit there at the short season league, they're quick to move up. So a lot of things can happen.
Right. An example of that is our local guy, Anderson Miller.
Yes.
Got here shortly. And if he hadn't missed all the time with his wrist injury, he's having a nice season. Very easily could have represented the Legends here.
Lassiter is the batter, Landon Lassiter of the Kannapolis Intimidators.
I believe Cosart saw 96 and decided to try to throw 197 and walk the guy. Isn't that amazing how that works?
Probably tempting to reach back to a little more, get a little more.
You know, it seems like 10% of the time you can throw it as hard as you can and it'll go where you want it. The other 90%, you got to pitch.
There is strike 3 called, and Lassiter is out on strikes.
Knee buckler, the dewdrop in, the old yellow hammer, curveball down the middle.
The curveball has a lot of nicknames around the clubhouse, a few of which you can repeat on the air, but when the hitters come back to the dugout and they're muttering one of those nicknames, you know you threw a good one. 2 outs. Here's Josh Tobias batting for the first time. Former Florida Gator.
Lakewood does put the names on the back of the jerseys, which is beneficial in all these substitutions that we have.
We are scrambling tonight. Everybody is up here in the press box. That's just the nature of an all-star game. And, of course, in the minor leagues, you really don't know everybody. At least in the major leagues, everybody's a pretty prominent name. Now, a lot of these guys we've certainly heard a lot about as they've come through the South Atlantic League, but having them all in the same game and being run in there as substitutes and all the pitching changes, we are trying to keep up as best we can, but sometimes the players get a little bit ahead of us. But Josh Tobias is in there now. And there's a swing and a foul.
You know, you're talking about the names on the back. Even when I was in the major leagues, everybody would get their name sewn on the back. Mine was Velcroed.
Easy on, easy off, right?
There you go. Yeah, we'll have a new guy in this one pretty soon. That's the clubhouse guy, I thought so. And then I would hang around.
Yeah. The guy told Euchre when he came in, no, sorry, buddy, no visitors in the clubhouse. And that's the way he got the news that he didn't belong in that clubhouse anymore. Here's the 1-2. Outside.
Tried to throw the curveball, got out in front of it a little bit and just kind of rolled it. That's okay if it misses badly like it did. You don't want it to miss down the middle right there.
Jake Cosart broke in with the Gulf Coast League Red Sox back in 2014, then with Lowell of the New York Penn League last year. And Tobias swings and sends one into right field, and that's a base hit. He is on and around second, and holding is Arribas. And 2 men on and 2 men out for the Northern Division as they bat in the top of the 7th.
It was a nice play by the right fielder. He came in thinking he might try to make the catch, but when he saw he couldn't, he went ahead and threw his chest in front of it and kept it there. So we're at first and second instead of possibly second and third. Tobias didn't mind the 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It was pretty much right in his wheelhouse.
He took care of that one. He's on at first base. Now, we get from the West Virginia Power, Tito Polo. He was a starter in the ball game and a swing and a miss.
He swung so hard he's got stuff falling off here. What's going on?
He's going to have to reset here and get ready for the next swing.
I've heard of guys swinging so hard their shoes came untied.
Right, yeah.
It's just equipment falling off. Goodness.
Here's the 0-1 from Cosart with 2 men on, a swing and a grounder foul, a little bit out in front of that one, and now it's 0-2.
Still nobody protecting the catcher, and you made a good point there, Keith, a minute ago, that when the hitter Murphy made the last out of the inning for the Northern Division, nobody was there to warm up the pitcher. Too much visitation going on down there, guys. Guess he just forgot.
Got to be alert. Of course, with the assignments in the game changing, the assignments change as to who takes care of that chore too. And of course, all of these things, when you're with your regular team, these things just sort of almost naturally happen as all the routine things that happen during a game, and you see somebody take care of them. And now with an all-star team and different makeup of guys, things like that can slip by. And here's a swing and a miss by Tito Polo, and Cosart is out of the inning. Got out of the 2-on, 2-out jam, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning with the score: the Northern Division 2 and the Southern Division nothing. Back with more of the South Atlantic League All-Star Game right after this on the Legends Network.
Here comes your guy.
Fans, at this time, as we move to the Hunt Brothers 7th inning stretch for pizza, please rise as we sing God Bless America. Here to perform and sing God Bless America, please welcome Joseph Henderson.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we lift our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for our God Bless America performer and singer, Joseph Henderson.
And following the singing of God Bless America, we will go to the bottom of the 7th inning now. It's still a 2-0 ball game. The Northern Division with a run in the first and another in the 5th, and they have thrown shutout innings at the Southern Division tonight. Just 4 hits for the Southern Division team. And it's a 2-0 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 7th. And new pitcher on for the Northern Division team, and he has a pretty familiar name, Jeff.
There you go. I'm looking forward to seeing this. Looks a lot like his dad out there, you know, with not a really big build, but man, his dad could flat throw it. I was watching him warm up, big, long, free arm. Nice looking action on it.
That is Mariano Rivera pitching for the Northern Division team. He is with the Hagerstown Suns. Looks like we have a new catcher in the ball game as well for the Northern Division, and I believe that will be Sebi Zavala of the Kannapolis Intimidators. So he will take over behind the plate.
Yeah, Sebi's certainly earned his money warming guys up in the bullpen tonight. I'd say he's loose.
Yeah, he's been out there quite a bit.
And I believe those are patent leather shoes we're wearing.
For Mariano?
Yes.
Yeah, he was talking about that earlier tonight. Told him we could see him coming from a long way off. Wearing a bright blue. I guess that's a Carolina type blue.
Yeah, those are fancy.
Your attention fans, entering the game and pitching for the Northern Division All-Stars.
Rivera being introduced to the crowd now.
Number 17, Mariano Rivera.
Rivera gets a nice hand. Boy, the look is very similar as you look at him. If you're watching on television, they've got a good shot of him now, and when he looks in toward the plate, the profile, all of that reminds you a lot of the great Mariano Rivera, his father, who has the all-time saves record. And there's a ball to the leadoff hitter.
At 90?
Yeah. Mariano Rivera, this Mariano Rivera played soccer and was wrestling in high school.
5'11", 155. So he's about 15 pounds heavier than his dad.
The batter is Tate Matheny. He's been around baseball for a while, too. Here's a drive into center field, but that's going to be caught.
Yeah, Tate Matheny has some connections with some big league guys, too.
Tate Matheny, the son of the St. Louis Cardinals manager, Mike Matheny. And he hit one to center field, hit it pretty well off Rivera, but that one caught. And Matheny is retired for out number 1.
From the Augusta Green Jackets, number 11, Dylan Davis.
Well, Rivera with a quick out. I'm sure he's pleased. As a Southern Division fan, I'd like to see a double.
Here's the pitch on the way from Rivera, and that one misses high and inside. Dylan Davis of the Augusta Green Jackets is the batter. Next one from Rivera, and there is a swing and a high pop fly, shallow left field. Who's going to take it? The left fielder is there, and the catch is made, and that's the second out. So Rivera has retired the first 2.
Well, the sky above us is nice and dark because that was somewhere close to the stratosphere. It probably wasn't that easy to see, and if it would have been a little earlier in the evening, maybe nobody would have seen that. Similar to our third baseman with the basket catch earlier.
Yeah, we have seen him lose it at that time of the evening. Landon Lassiter, the left fielder, made the catch. Polo has moved over to center field, and he made the catch on the ball hit by Matheny.
Rivera with 2 quick outs. You know, you keep hitting the ball in the air, there are no bad bounces in the air. They can catch those.
Here's a swing and a miss by Gonzalez. He's had a single and a double tonight. So Mariano Rivera, 2 up and 2 down against the Hagerstown right-hander.
Yep, that was a nice sinker ball right there. You know, his dad threw 1 pitch and is the greatest all-time saves leader.
They never did figure it out, did they?
No, 95-mile-an-hour cutter. And it was natural for him. He didn't have to try to do it. The ball just ran that way.
There's a strike, 1 and 2, and really it just started for him. He was dominant almost from the very beginning, wasn't he?
Yeah, he really was. And like I said, it was 1 pitch, but it moved so much, and he was really accurate with it, too. He kept the pressure on the hitter. You better swing.
And a quick inning for young Mariano Rivera. He gets 2 flyouts and a strikeout. And quickly down in order in the 7th goes the Southern Division team, and we are on to the 8th inning in the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. And we will have more after this. 2-0 Northern Division on the Legends Network.
Fans by the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities they serve. There are 50 Whitaker Bank locations serving communities from central to eastern Kentucky. 61 Whitaker Bank ATMs are located throughout Kentucky, making quick access to cash easy. Whitaker Bank serves the needs of nearly 70,000 customers every day. Whitaker Bank shares your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Folks, the lights are on, and they are brought to you by our good friends at Kentucky Coal.
That's right.
Because coal powers 92% of the Commonwealth's electricity. As you flip on the light switch tonight, turn on the power of Kentucky Coal. And, Mike, what do we have for our fans?
You know, I come bearing gifts. Our friends at Kentucky Coal, not only do they give us the 4th cheapest electrical rates in the entire United States, but they hook us up with free squishy coal rocks. Make some noise!
Well, life on the farm is kind of laid back. Ain't much an old country boy like me can't hack. It's early to rise, early in the sack. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, a simple kind of life never did me no harm. Raising me a family and working on the farm. Days are all filled with an easy country charm. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine.
Lucky me. KU. Our energies go to serving you.
Stars here today on the Legends Radio Network.
Keith, 3 up, 3 down for Mariano Rivera Jr. Now, his dad, you may know him. He is a 13-time MLB All-Star, a 5-time World Series champion, and his number 42, well, it is retired by the New York Yankees. He is actually here tonight to watch his son. I caught up with him earlier in one of the suites, and he said, you know what, I get a little nervous when he goes out because it hits a little bit close to home for me. But the thing I always tell him is you just have to be true to yourself. Now, when I spoke to his son, he said, the only time I speak to my dad is when I have bad outings. He's one of those guys that you can go to because he's been in those situations. Now, as far as comparing the two, his son says, you know what, I never really worry about being compared to my father because when he was my age, he spent 5-6 years in the minors. So I'm just doing what I need to do and going through this process.
All right, thanks, Kennedy. It is an interesting story, and of course, young Mariano Rivera carrying the first name as well as the last name, so there's no. And he has handled the whole situation very well. Of course, Jeff and I were talking about it earlier about the young Mariano Rivera, and he comes in, he does the job on the mound, and one thing that we mentioned earlier was that Dad didn't talk to him so much about mechanics, but talks to him about how to lead the minor league life, what to expect, and those challenges that you get in the early stages of your career. And I hear a lot of sons of big leaguers talk about that, and it's not so much baseball instruction from their fathers, although they do get that sometimes if they want it, but just how to be a professional.
That's right, and coming back from failure is a big part of making your way up the ladder. A lot of times teams and organizations want to see how you deal with failure, and so you know, his dad being there to help him with that sort of thing. And, you know, as the dad of a college pitcher and watching my son pitch all those times, you want them to do well because you know how frustrating it is and disappointing when you don't. And you kind of relive those things. And you want them to avoid it, but you can't because it's competition and it's baseball.
New pitcher on for the Southern Division is Caleb Smith of Augusta, and he has issued a walk to start the 8th inning.
According to these statistics here, I believe Caleb started the year in Double-A in the Eastern League. And now he's come back here and made the All-Star team.
Well, he's making the most, I guess, of coming back down. But
yeah, that's a tough deal.
When you've been to Double-A, you don't like to come back down to the South Atlantic League.
No, you really don't, especially when you're getting ready to turn 24 years old. But he is a left-hander, so they can pitch till they're like 60.
Here's the pitch, and there is a ball outside. Yeah, left-handers seem to have the longevity. As long as they can get a left-handed hitter out, there seems to be a job for them somewhere.
There you go. You need the big sweeping breaking ball.
Soto, the batter. And the pitch is swung on and missed.
We have a local guy doing a heck of a job being the left-handed specialist for the Boston Red Sox right now, Robbie Ross Jr., having a good year for them.
Smith is ready, and a 1-1 pitch is on the way to Soto, and that one is taken for a strike over the inside part of the plate.
Yep, the umpire kind of gave him the inside corner right there, but it was a good pitch.
Sebi Zavala drew the leadoff walk.
I was always told there are not a lot of times when a left-hander wants to come in on a left-handed hitter because they kind of bail anyway.
Here's a bouncer to short, and Soto will reach first safely as Basabe had trouble with that one. That may be the game's first error, and it is.
Tried to come in quickly, get it on the short hop, and kind of had a little bobble right there. Like you said before, Keith, you make a bobble from that side of the field, it's pretty tough to get anybody out.
So 2 on and nobody out, a walk and an error. And put 2 runners on for the Northern Division here in the top of the 8th inning. They already lead 2-0. They have out-hit the Southern Division.
And you know, you get to this point in the game, there's been a lot of guys crossing that area out there between second and third. A lot of footprints. It's there's some tough hops can happen for a shortstop.
Zavala gets a lead, and first pitch is swung on and fouled away by Danny Mendick into the stands. 8,126 is the attendance tonight. What a terrific crowd for the All-Star game as the Legends hosted for the second time in their history. It's been 13 years since they served as host. Here's a swing and a ground ball toward third. Fielded there, relayed a second for 1 on to first and out at first base as they turn the 5-4-3 double play. Gonzalez got it started.
Dykstra made a nice play at second, kind of handcuffed him a little bit right here. A little bit low throw, but he stuck with it. Quick turn. Ooh, it was close.
Close, but out is the call at first base, and now we'll get a pitching change for the Southern Division. So Smith comes in and pitches to 3 batters, and we'll take a timeout here and tell you more about the pitching change when we come back after this break on the Legends Network.
In healthcare, there's a lot.
Your attention, fans entering the game and pitching for the Southern Division All-Stars. The right-hander from the Greenville Drive, number 36, Aniello Leclerc. All right, folks. If you take a look at that Hilliard Lions left field video board, guess what, folks? Our good friends at BurgerFi are going to give us all an ice cream sundae. Each and every one of you down there will receive an ice cream sundae. Why? Because the Northern and Southern Division teams have more than 10 hits combined, and that means everyone wins an ice cream sundae from our good friends at BurgerFi. You will receive that coupon after the game tonight. Once again, we want to thank our good friends at BurgerFi at Fayette Mall, where kids eat free on Mondays. Off the bat for the Northern Division All-Stars, their designated hitter, Alex Murphy.
A swing and a high pop-up, foul territory, first base side. Mundell is over there. He's got to play, and he's got it. So 1 pitch, 1 out as Leclerc, the right-hander, retires Murphy on the foul pop-up, and that's the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning with the score. The Northern Division 2 and the Southern Division nothing. Back with more after this on the Legends Network.
Order 'em up good and loud. Say I love a good game. I love Kentucky food. I'm Kentucky proud.
It's just not baseball without some popcorn. And in Kentucky, it's just not popcorn without Kentucky farmers. Before your team takes the field, Kentucky farm families are tending fields all over the state to bring the food you love to the game you love. So after the game, look for the Kentucky Proud label in stores, at restaurants, or visit us online at kyproud.com.
Say I love a good game. I love Kentucky food. I'm Kentucky proud.
Go Legends and go Kentucky Proud.
That's right, folks. Our good friends at Kentucky Proud are proud to bring you Legends Baseball. Look for those.
That's 859.
Now, we just had our Legendary Night, and it's time now for some catch-ups.
That's how cleaning should be.
Don't take chances with your fine clothing. Come to Emperor's Cleaners and have your clothes treated like royalty. Emperor's Cleaners will make you look good every day. Or for special occasions, Emperor's Cleaners also preserves wedding gowns that make them look as good as new. Emperor's Cleaners specializes in leather cleaning, shirt laundry, custom work, and alterations. You'll find them in the Idle Hour Shopping Center on Richmond Road. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 9 until 3. Emperor's Cleaners treats you and your clothes like royalty.
This is Josh Anderson. Follow the Legends all season long on the Legends Radio Network.
Back for the bottom of the 8th inning in the South Atlantic League All-Star Game here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. Keith Elkins, Jeff Parent, Kennedy Hardman with you. Chris Capers doing the producing back in the radio studio as we come to you both on ESPN Sports Radio 1300 tonight, along with My Kentucky TV. And the new pitcher on for the Northern Division team is Ryan Meisinger, a right-hander. He's with the Delmarva Shorebirds, and he's from Prince Frederick, Maryland. 11th round pick by the Baltimore Orioles in 2015. He is 6'4" and 235.
I'm sure he has a strong pass list at the ball games up there, being close to home.
I would say so. Here's a swing and a drive, hit to deep left field, way back, and that one is out of here. And that is a home run off the bat of Austin Rye of the Greenville Drive. And he has put the Southern Division on the board and cut that lead in half with a home run in the bottom of the 8th inning.
There we go. Somebody got one straightened out for the Southern guys right there. First pitch right down the crack, and he just turned on it.
Well, he's obviously been waiting for that at bat.
Here we go. Looks like a fastball. Just trying to little get me head, left it up and in. Wasn't real close to where the catcher wanted it, especially when it landed.
Yeah. There's a ball outside now to Ray Patrick Ditter, back around to the top of the order. So homer by Austin Rye has made it a 2-1 ball game, and that was a no-doubter. And if you saw the replay, you saw that was up right where a hitter would love it, and he knew what to do with it. Here's a swing and a drive back to right field off the bat of Ditter, and a leaping effort out there with the catch by Soto in right field. A pretty good defensive play on a well-hit ball.
It was a couple feet from the hard wall and right below the Pepsi deck, and he made a nice catch. You know, one thing that the pitcher can take a little bit of comfort in, even though he gave up that home run, is they always told me if you're not giving up home runs, you're not pitching. So it's part of the game. Just be glad there wasn't a couple guys on base when that happened. Here's Dykstra.
Yeah, there's Luke Dykstra. Yeah, try to keep it damage to a minimum on those home runs. Here's a swing and a foul because they are going to occur. Luke Dykstra is the batter. His brother, Cutter Dykstra, another son of Lenny Dykstra, is also in professional baseball in the Washington system. And Luke Dykstra's having a good year with the Rome Braves.
He has. He's second in the league in plate appearances versus strikeouts.
Here's a line drive toward first on the short hop. It's fielded over there by Arribas, and he gets it to the pitcher in time for the out, and Dykstra is retired.
Good job of Meisinger right there. Broke immediately when the ball was hit, so he had plenty of time to get to first and throw slightly behind him, still tag the base. You know, we had that play earlier, or last inning, a double play ball when Dykstra flipped it over to first. It was a bang-bang play. You know, the umpires have to use their ears for that call.
They do. They have to listen for the foot, right, and then the sound of the ball hitting the glove.
And they still miss it.
We're going to get another pitching change now as Meisinger will leave. Patrick Anderson, the Hagerstown manager, out there again to wave in another pitcher. So we will take a break right here for the pitching change and come back to a 2-1 ball game. Northern Division in front, but the lead down to 1. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back in just a moment on the Legends Network.
The winning number is A353564. A353564. Alpha 353564. If you have the winning ticket, please report to guest services for further information. Again, the winning number A353564. Baseball fans, I hear Sweet Caroline, so I want to hear your voices. Let's go.
Where it began, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing.
Airport to connect with the people, places, and things.
Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along?
All season long on the Legends Radio Network.
New pitcher in the game is a left-hander. It is Garrett Clevenger of the Delmarva Shorebirds, the Baltimore Farm Club. He's from Lawrence, Kansas, and pitched in college for Oregon. So he comes into the ball game now. He's a third-round pick by the Orioles in 2015 and started his career with the Aberdeen club in the New York Penn League, but 5-0 this year, 138 ERA, some really good numbers for him.
Absolutely. Big, tall, left-handed guy. Probably a good curveball when he's warming up. Probably some good command, but, you know, you want to pretty much hit your highest number you've ever thrown on a radar gun right here, so that sometimes can take away your pitch abilities.
Here is Mundell to step in against him. He was a starter in the ball game, still in there here in the 8th inning. It's 1 out of 3, and I think that one got him. It was down and in, and I think bounced maybe before it hit him, but it did hit the batter, and Mundell is on at first base.
Slightly behind you, nowhere to go. Just hope it doesn't hit bone.
Yeah.
That was an ankle shooter, too.
We were talking earlier about a hitter's reaction to a pitch as it comes at him, and you only have the one instinctive move to get out of the way. Now, that one probably wasn't going to hurt him because it was in there almost on a bounce, and maybe it was on a bounce, but that's true of even those pitches that come up and in toward your head. And You got to make the right move the first time.
Yep, and that pitch looked like one where he was trying to hit his highest number ever on the radar gun, didn't it?
Reached back, as they used to say. Reach back for a little extra.
It might go where you want it to. Oh.
Here's the one up and in, and no chance at all for Josh Ockamy to get out of the way, and that one just ran up and in on him. He just tried to turn away from it as best he could and took it in the back or the upper part of the shoulder, and he's on at first base, and 2 in a row hit by Clevenger as he enters the ball game.
You know, with 2 outs, runners would be going on contact, something in the gap. Southern Division could take the lead.
They very well could. Basabi's going to step in there with a chance to put his team in front with an extra base hit. He has struck out 3 times, so he's looking to make some contact up there this time against the left-hander Clevenger.
After 2 guys straight getting hit, I wonder if his heart and his bottom are connected.
Yeah. In other words, a little hard to dig in and set yourself at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when your bottom's heading towards the third base coaching box.
Here's the pitch, and there's a swing and a foul ball hit in the air, but not very high and not very hard over toward first base, and it bounces once and then into the stands.
Now that was more off the batting glove than it was the bat. That was way inside on him.
Basabe with an 0-1 count. Mentioned earlier, his twin brother, also in the Red Sox system. Signed on the same day. The pitch. And a swing and a ground ball to second. Tobias has it and throws him out at first base, and that's the inning. So 2 men reached after the home run, but neither of them scored, and the homer by Rye has put the Southern Division on the board as we go to the top of the 9th now. The score is the Northern Division 2 and the Southern Division 1 back with the top of the 9th in just a moment on the Legends Center.
Bad credit, don't worry about it. There are no credit checks. You can shop, buy, and pay at North Broadway Auto, where everybody rides.
Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling.
Fans, if you want your living room floor to look as good as our infield here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, you need to stop by our good friends at Carpet One right here in Lexington. They have 2 great locations. It's your one-spot shop for all your flooring needs. Carpet, area rugs, hardwood, laminate. We even got vinyl and tile at Carpet One. Stop in and see a great supporter of Legends Baseball in Carpet One. And fans, Uncle Ray's is the official potato chip of minor league baseball. Uncle Ray's potato chips have over 20 stash-tastic flavor, and they're all made Uncle Ray's way. Coming up after the game, we will present the Uncle Ray's Play of the Game, and we will have
footsteps away. Weekend rates
MVP of the All-Star Game. Your attention, fans entering the game and pitching for the Southern Division All-Stars from the Columbia Fireflies. Their right-hander, number 15, Alex Palsha.
Here's Alex Palsha into the ball game, the right-hander from the Columbia Fireflies. And the first pitch to Irizarry is swung on and missed.
Big right-hander. Thought maybe we might see the league leader in saves here in the 9th, Schwab, but he was loose. We didn't take the lead, so maybe he's going to be ready for extra innings.
Also ready. And the pitch, you figure they're holding him back, huh?
Yeah. No sense wasting your closer here.
Now 0-2 to Irizarry.
It's a couple of good pitches to get ahead right there. Both of them spotted well in the outer half of the plate. Oh, it's right down the middle.
There is a strike called, and
well,
make it 1-2 now.
There you go. I thought that second pitch was a little outside.
That would have been a little bit off the black, right?
Yeah.
There's
As
the
a pitcher,
1-2.
You get that sometimes.
And that one's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The old hard overhand curveball, about 58 feet. One thing, they swing at that sometimes, but they never hit it. So 2 or 3 in a row works. Catcher's not happy. Sometimes the umpire flinches. You don't want the umpire running
That's true.
away.
You're not very popular when you throw those, but
No.
you can get people out with it. 2-2 pitch. And missed low and in, and is now 3-2.
Catcher liked it, as evidence of the way he held it there, hoping for the late call, maybe a change of mind. Didn't get it.
So look in by the right-hander, and a 3-2 pitch is on the way from Palsha. Here it is. And a swing and a foul back, and that one's up here near the press box. Right-hander pitched in college at Sacramento State. He was a 27th round pick in 2014 by the New York Mets.
Out of Danville, California, a little suburb of Oakland.
Danville, California. He's 24 years old. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a pop foul. Again, back near the press box.
That was coming pretty quick. Our buddy Ty Cobb over here looked like he was reacting on it, though. You will protect me, right, Keith?
Absolutely.
I'm hiding behind this.
I got you. All my skills will come into play.
Thanks. I feel better.
Yeah.
I've been sweating all night, but not so much since I took my pants off in the third. No.
Well, radio, you can get away with that. There's a swing and a miss. Harry Carey used to go shirtless sometimes from the bleachers. As far as we knew, that was all. 3-2 the count now to Jason Irizarry. Daniel Arribas has been in the ball game all along, and that is him on deck.
I got mentioned in a story about Harry Carey the other day, Keith. Kansas City was playing Chicago. Steve Stone, somebody asked him to say one of his favorite Harry Carey stories. So he said there was this guy warming up for Montreal named Jeff Parrott. I told Harry, his name's Jeff Parrott coming in. A minute later, it's Jeff Parrott coming in. All of a sudden, Jeff Parrott comes in the game, and Harry looks at it, and he goes, now pitching, Henry Parrott. And Steve said, I just told you it's Jeff Parrott. He goes, I went to school with a Henry Parrott. Thanks, Harry.
That just sounds so much like Harry Carey, doesn't it?
Oh.
He would come up to a name once in a while like a Hector Villanueva. Or I remember one time Gary Gaetti came up, and there was always a little hesitation there after that first name as Harry kind of backed up and took a run at it. Here's a line drive into left field, but going to be caught. Matheny's got it. Line drive off the bat of Irizarry, and there's one down in the top of the ninth inning. But Gary Gaetti came to the plate, and Harry Carey started into naming the batter. And next hitter in there is Gary, and he just sort of stopped. And with the hesitation, you knew there was trouble ahead. And he said something nowhere near Gaetti, but you can make up your own name with the spelling Gaetty. And he just stopped with Gary, I think, pretty much that night.
Well, one of the amazing things was he played for the Cubs.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Gary Gaetti had a pretty good career, in fact.
Yes, he did. Yeah, I got to play with him in St. Louis, as a matter of fact. We still exchange Christmas cards. One of the few guys that I still keep in contact with. Good guy.
We're getting Mr. Schwab into the ball game now.
14 saves on the season, leads the league. You can see why. That's 88 miles an hour from down under.
So just keep it right here during this break and tell you about Andrew Schwab. Of course, the Charleston River Dogs, first half Southern Division champions, and on their way to postseason play. And Andrew Schwab has certainly helped them get there from St. Charles, Missouri, and pitched in college at the University of Missouri.
Got the sidearm delivery, which changes the hitter's perspective. Hard to pick up the release point. As a right-hander, it's kind of hard to keep your shoulder in on a guy like that. You know, you want to lead, pull out on it. And got a little slider, a little sinker. Goes pretty hard for a sidearmer, too.
4-1 record this year and a 1.80 ERA, 23 games. Of course, all in relief. He's saved 14. He has had 19 save opportunities. And he has struck out 29 batters in 25 innings, and he's only walked 4.
That's how you get it done. No free passes late in the game.
Good numbers for Andrew Schwab. So he is on to get the final couple of outs here in the top of the ninth, and then we'll see what the Southern Division can try to do in the bottom half of the ninth inning. 2-1, the Northern Division leading. A run in the first, another in the fifth. A home run by Rye of Greenville in the bottom of the eighth. Put the Southern Division on the board. Schwab pitches and a swing and a bouncer by Arribas toward third. And Gonzalez throws him out at first base, and now there are 2 down in the top of the ninth.
You know, there might not be many runs, but being an old pitching guy, I'm a big pitching and defense fan, and we've seen some very nice defense tonight.
We have only 1 error in the ball game, and we've seen some good defensive work. Infielders coming up with tough hops and starting a couple of nice double plays.
There you go. Even the 1 error was a tough play. He had to charge him a slow roller.
Here's a ground ball wide of short, and that one's going to get into center field past the diving Basabe, and it's a base hit for Lassiter.
Basabe pretty much knew he had to make a quick pick and get up, so there wasn't a whole lot of room for error there, and the ball scooted by him. Base hit all the way, though.
Josh Tobias will be the hitter.
Wouldn't even argue if I was pitching very much. Now, when a guy moves his feet that much, it's all good.
Pitching coaches still like to do that. And hitting coaches question those calls. Was it a hit? Was it an error?
And the Legends guy, Mark Maloney, he'll listen to people.
Yeah.
He'll change his mind. At least he says he does.
Take it under consideration anyway. We've had three hits from that spot tonight in the order. Tobias got a hit his last time. Schrock had a couple to start the ball game. There was a starter at second base. There's a strike.
Little backdoor slider from the side armor on a lefty. I like it.
Andrew
2 down,
Schwab.
though.
2 outs and runner at first. Here's the pitch outside.
You could see how that ball kind of sunk pretty well right there. There are some of the old sidearm guys could throw a rise ball, made it look like it was going up. Quisenberry was good at that.
Yeah. What a career he had for the Royals back in the 80s. Here's a swing and a foul, grounded down the first baseline.
And there was a point in time when the Arizona Diamondbacks organization were searching for sidearm guys. They were trying to draft them and sign them, but it's because it was just such a different angle. And you know, when you really watch these guys, it's the shoulder angle which gets them down to sidearm. It's not really reaching your arm out down low, right?
Yeah.
Notice how the front shoulder stays so high. With a guy that's considered an over-the-top pitcher, you'll see that front shoulder go down when the back shoulder goes up. With a sidearm, the front shoulder goes up, back shoulder goes down.
Okay.
So it's that sort of extension. You know, you want 3-point extension from shoulder to elbow to get that most velocity, most leverage.
And of course, for the hitter, that just changes the angle at which he sees the pitcher move and deliver the ball too, right?
Yep, and sometimes you get more movement, like that one.
There's a strikeout of Tobias, a swing and a miss, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth inning. A 2-1 score, the Northern Division in front. Southern Division has one more shot at it. They need 1 to tie, 2 to win, and we'll be back with the bottom of the ninth after this. On the left.
Got him! Got him!
Located a grand slam away from the ballpark at 445 East New Circle Road, our great Sash-tastic friends at Paradise Motorsports specialize in quality pre-owned vehicles. Mention the Legends and receive $500 off your next purchase. And once again, you can start searching for your next ride right now at ParadiseInventory.com. If you're looking for a ride home tonight, folks, from the ballpark, our good friends at Uber, and make sure to get you that safe ride home. Use the promo code LEXLEGENDS and receive up to $20 off your first ride. Once again, check out that Hilliard Lions left field video board for our coupon code from our good friends at Uber.
System or steering through it with a steady friend. Heart is at the core.
Your attention, fans, entering the game and pitching for the Northern Division All-Stars. From the Greensboro Grasshoppers, their right-hander, number 26, C.J. Robinson.
Field near the line. O'Neal appears to
All-Stars here today on the Legends Radio Network.
New pitcher in the ball game, C.J. Robinson. He's from the Greensboro Grasshoppers, a right-hander, and he'll take over here in the 9th inning.
At one time, he was 9 for 9 in save opportunities. Now he's up to 11 for the season, puts him on the leaderboard. Another sidearmer.
Robinson enters the ball game here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Southern Division trailing 2-1.
What they've been doing for 16 seasons, playing a role in Legends baseball. Check out their Facebook page.
One more crack at him for the Southern Division club, managed by Luis Durante of the Charleston River Dogs. Northern team managed by Patrick Anderson of the Hagerstown Suns.
We go to the bottom of the 9th for the Southern Division All-Stars.
There have been some impressive things tonight. Been very impressed with all the catchers. These guys can throw the ball. Haven't had to block a whole lot. The really wild pitches have been hitting guys. A few of the ones in the dirt. I haven't seen anything really get to the backstop, though.
And there are South Atlantic League games where you see several get there. Here's a ball high from C.J. Robinson.
That's kind of a different delivery. Looks like he extends his arm from the very beginning of his windup. Just keeps it out there. Not a lot of elbow bend.
Next one on the way. There's a ball high and away.
In a one-run game, you want to try to stay on top of the hitters. Keep the pressure on the hitter because that's where most of it is. It's harder to hit than it is to pitch.
Tate Matheny, the hitter, and he waits for a 2-0 pitch from Robinson. A swing and a miss by Tate Matheny.
That was the time he upswing. Might want to retie a shoe piece or maybe redo his belt buckle. I think his pocket fell out.
Tate Matheny of the Greenville Drive, 6-footer, 190 pounds. He takes, and there's a strike, and now the count is even at 2-2. He was a 4th-round pick in June of 2015 by the Boston Red Sox after his college career at Missouri State.
I wonder if Dad was encouraging him to make him a Cardinal.
There's a swing and a miss by Matheny, and he is down on strikes. Of course, Mike Matheny, the Cardinals manager, the father of Tate Matheny.
Nice comeback by the pitcher right there. After 2-0, 3 straight strikes.
Yeah.
Finish him off.
One down. Dylan Davis, the batter.
C.J. Robinson. Davis back at the plate. Let's see if he can figure this thing out.
Here's the pitch from Robinson, and that one is high and away. Dylan Davis from the Augusta Green Jackets, part of the San Francisco Giants. Right, yeah, but definitely if they can find it. Here's a line drive into, let me back up on that one. They got him short to first, right? I had to check on
Well, it was a line drive till they got about halfway to the mound.
Yeah, okay.
Then it started bouncing, and it made a big Sunday hop for the shortstop
Good
right
deal.
there.
All
Caught
right.
the edge of the grass and bounced all the way up into his glove.
Now we'll give you an assist on that one too. And Davis is out, and they're 2 down in the 9th. Trying to get our post-game arrangements made here. And
got a little bit of a shift working in the infield.
yeah. Consolas up to the plate, and he's been in there the entire time tonight.
The batter for the Southern Division All-Stars, the Greenville Drive, number 22, Mitchell Gonzalez.
If he could put anything lightly down the third baseline, it would be a base hit, but I'm thinking in an all-star game, he's thinking tying it up more than getting on base.
Absolutely. Trailing 2-1 with 2 outs in the 9th, and there is a strike call. Now it's 1-1, so third baseman Mendick to say he's well off the bag is an understatement. The left-handed hitter Gonzalez.
Still a lot of space between the shortstop and the second baseman out there for some sort of a shift. Maybe the shortstop doesn't like to play up the middle.
Yeah, high and away. Yeah, they're fairly close together right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. They're kind of cutting that hole off. You know, for a sidearmer, he's thrown 91 a couple of times. Pretty good velocity.
Here's the 2-1. And a swing and a liner, and there's a line drive to third, and that one is caught.
Had him played
by
just right.
Mendick, and they knew what they were doing. A line drive right at the third baseman. That ends it. And it's a 2-1 win for the Northern Division. 2 runs on 8 hits. Make it 9 hits for the Northern Division. 1 error. And for the Southern Division, 1 run and 5 hits and no errors. We'll have our post-game show coming up. Keith Hardeman will be along, and he'll catch up on the scores from around the major leagues, and then back with the remainder of our post-game show from the Kentucky Ale Tap Room here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. And we'll say good evening to our television audience tonight. But first, Jeff Parrott, it's been a pleasure having you along. What a great help as we try to keep our eyes on this all-star game, but obviously with the knowledge of the 10-year big league career. And we just appreciate the way you do the broadcasts, and it's such a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, Keith. You're the professional in this crew, so I appreciate you leading me along. But it's always a thrill for me. Love baseball, love coming out and watching these talented young men perform, and the big crowd. There's good baseball fans in this area, and I'm glad to see them.
Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate all of them, the 8,000 plus who are here tonight. It's been a great couple of days of baseball here in Lexington. We are going to attempt to have Max Schrock of the Hagerstown Suns on with us, and we'll see if we can get that done for our post-game show. And then we will, that'll be on radio, but we'll say good night from for our TV audience.
Yeah, saw Alan Stein.
Oh, okay. Wanted to say
Alan,
hello to
I'm
Alan.
working over here.
Yeah. Not quite through yet, but we do need to say goodnight to our TV audience, and we'll be with you on radio on ESPN Sports Radio 1300 for our post-game show. Thanks again, Jeff, and we'll talk to you again soon on our next television game.
Keith, thank you. Hope to see you very soon.
All right, we'll be right back with our post-game show. 2-1 the final. Northern Division wins it for the South Atlantic League All-Star Game for 2016. This is
possible. We've got a mega blast here. And of course, we want to thank Paul Miller Ford, the sponsor of the 2016 South Atlantic League All-Star Game, Whitaker Bank, and all of our friends. Upstairs, we ready for some fireworks? Hey, April, come here. Come here. You all saw Cassie run out here a minute ago. Some of you might not know what we do, but out here when the Legends claim a victory, it's not just a win, it's a Whitaker win. And we hang it out there in the bank, which is right there on the left field bleachers. And tonight was going to be a Whitaker win because you all made it possible. So we hope you enjoyed yourself. And we've got our first ever Mega Blast tonight. The largest fireworks show we've ever had. We got special permission from the city to do it. And here we go. So when I say fire, you say works. Fire! 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 Nice. Y'all. All right, check it out. Here we go. I was just kidding. Somebody light a sparkler. Make sure you stop by the stash shop on your way out. We're running out of South Atlantic League All-Star shirts, so check those out. We got one that's got every team on the back. It's super cool. It's white, so I didn't buy it because I didn't want to spill nacho cheese. And of course, the #1 selling truck for 39 years in a row, the Ford F-Series truck, a brand new Platinum Edition, All-Star Platinum Edition from Paul Miller Ford is coming around the warning track right now. That truck will actually be for sale tomorrow. So if you want the All-Star Edition F-150, I got to tell y'all, the seats massage you. It's crazy. I drove it yesterday. That actually makes it go up in value, just saying. All right, here we go. As the F-150 rolls on through, let's do this one more time. When I say fire, you say works. Fire! 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 When I say mega, you say blast. Mega! Mega! Nice. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Here we go. Let's count them down. When everybody, let's look at the video board. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It was 2 for 1 and 4 for 2 at Christmas lights in the middle of June. All hung up like I was on you. I say, hey, hey, baby, do you wanna come over? You say no way, then you move in closer.
All the artists you hear will be performing at Red, White, and Boom Labor Day weekend.
Turn the quiet up, turn the noise down. Let this old world just spin around. I wanna feel it sway, wanna feel it sway, and put some feel good in my soul. Drink a little drink, smoke a little smoke. Want a little more right and a little less left. A little more right now, a little less what's next.
taking that chance, taking a ride, taking my hand, kicking this crowd, ditching this club. This night's been waiting on us. Save your best move. Yeah, till I get us where we're getting to. Girl, you tearing that dance floor up. Let me see you do it in the bed of my truck. You sure know how to shake it all right. Let me see you do it in the Tennessee moonlight. Whoa, baby, let's go down a little road nobody else knows. Just me and you parked on the edge of the world. That's how I wanna see you go.
Between a lunch and dinner rush, Kelly caught that outbound bus for Vegas. And we're all out here talking trash, making bets, lips wrapped around our cigarettes. She always thought she was too good to be a waitress.
Got a custom music mix from 98.1 The Bull, featuring Red, White, and Boom artists.
Sail away, we just blow smoke. Hey, yeah, we just blow smoke. Hey, yeah, out here going broke. Hey, yeah, yeah, we just blow smoke.
You wanna dance, don't it, baby? I'm gonna wear my flip-flops and I'm gonna play some flip cup and rock a little bit of hip-hop and Haggard and Jagger and throw a 20 on a cornhole game. If I'm lucky, yeah, I might get laid. The way that it's going, that kid gon' be floating. All I wanna do today is wear my favorite shades and get stoned. Work a little this, play a little more. That's what this day is for. And all I wanna do is lace my J's and lace some Jack in my coat. Work on my laid back, ain't nothing wrong. Get my Sundays on. Get my Sundays on.
She's a hot little number in her pickup truck. Daddy Sweet Money done jacked it up. She's a party all-nighter from South Carolina. A mad mamma jammer from down in Alabama. She's a raging Cajun lunatic from Brunswick. Juicy Georgia peach with a thick southern drawl. Sexy swinging wall. Brother, she's all country. From her cowboy boots to her down home roots, she's country. From the song she plays to the prayer she prays,
That's what tradition told you. And it don't matter if you don't believe. Come Sunday morning, you best be there in the front row like you're supposed to. Same hurt in every heart. Same trailer, different park. Mama's hooked on Mary Kay, brother's hooked on Mary Jane, and daddy's hooked on Mary two doors down. Mary, Mary, quack and Sherry, we get bored so we get married. And just like dust we settle in this town, on this broken merry-go-round.
Ladies and gentlemen, the music you're hearing are all artists from the Red, White, and Boom concert here Labor Day weekend from 98.1 The Bull.
You got the gas, I got the matches. We gonna turn this town to ashes, 'cause they ain't never seen nothing like us. I ain't heard loud till we turn it up. I got the wild, you got the crazy. You know that's why I love you, baby, 'cause your motor runs just as fast as mine. Pedal to the metal, keep the throttle down all night. And we only get one life. Ain't scared to ride this train. Make a few marks, leave a few stains. Might slam just a little too hard. Might take it just a little too far. Might burn out like a firework, like a shooting star across the sky. Yeah, we may not be around in 20 years, but the show gonna know we were here. Yeah, the show gonna know we were here.
Windows down, country sound, FM on the radio. Just me and you and the man on the moon, cruising down some old back road. Now, baby, don't you look at me that way, 'cause you know there's only so much I can take. 'Cause you make me wanna pull this truck to the side of the road, slide on over, let me hold you close and tell you everything I'm thinking. Hop on down, let the tailgate fall, get drunk on you with no alcohol. If you don't stop, I'm gone. Girl, you make me wanna. Early Monday morning to Friday at 5, man, I work, but I don't climb. Boss man can shove that overtime up his can. All I wanna do is put a drink in my hand. To fill it up or throw it down, I got a 40-hour week worth of Since you turned the tables on me, I've been steady learning lonely, keeping this turntable spinning. Everything from Jones to Jennings, slowly planning my survival in a 3-foot stack of vinyl. Since you had to walk out of here, I've been having a record year. I bet you thought before you left I'd just sit in silence by myself, turn this house into a jail, dying slow in a living hell. But love's got a funny way of keeping score, and your leaving lit up my scoreboard. I usually make it through Saturday sober. All bets are off when I flip her over. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. I'm having a record year. Quarter notes and Hank's halftime. I'm pounding on this heart of mine. Song to song, I pass my time. These speakers on 10.
Things were gone. I'd work for all my life.
Now, folks, how about those Mega Blast fireworks?
Just my children.
Can you hear me? It was kind of loud.
Thank my lucky stars.
Folks, they probably heard us all the way back over in Delmarva. That's Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. Folks, once again, we do thank you for coming out to the South Atlantic League All-Star Game, hosted by your Lexington Legends, presented by our good friends at Paul Miller Ford. We hope you had a stash-tastic time right here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark and your visit through Lexington, Kentucky. Once again, folks, thank you for coming out to Whitaker Bank Ballpark and the All-Star Game tonight. We hope you have a safe ride home, and please head on out to one of these minor league baseball stadiums in the South Atlantic League. We have a great league that we play in, folks. It's been around for a long time. We have a great, great president and a bunch of great teams in the South Atlantic League. Once again, for the final time up here in the press box, on behalf of the Lexington Legends, Paul Miller Ford, Whitaker Bank, we thank you for coming out to the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. We'll see you next time right here. Kentucky Ale and Pepsi. Once again, folks, on behalf of the Legends, my name's Ty.